teka muna, hindi ko pa pala nalagay ng ano ah. Parang wala pa tong ads. Parang wala pa tong nalagay ko. Teka, double check ko muna. Parang wala pa tong ano, ads. Mahirap pag hindi nasanay sa live stream, ano. Hindi na tayo nakakapaglagay ng ads. Saan na ba yun? Mega love shoutout, Bear Villanueva. Hello, hello, hello. Saan na yun? Hindi na ako sanay. Ay, yala. Kailangan kong ma-check siya sa YouTube Studio. Ayun. Kumusta po ang inyong ano, New Year? New Year, New Year. Content dito. Ayan na nga, wala nga. Dapat malagyan. Ayun. Okay. Dali lang sir ha, nagsiset up ako. Hindi ko pala na-set up mabuti kanina. Hindi ko pa siya masyado na-set up. Gabi na dito, inantok na nga ako eh. Mga ano lang sito, 1 oras lang para lang meron tayong live stream. Maganda pa rin pala yung nasasanay lagi na nagla-live stream para hindi na katamaran. Pagka matagal nang hindi ginawa, kinakatamaran na eh. Ayan, okay. Bear Villanueva. Late na yata ang LS mo, sis Jules. Oo nga eh. Nakatulog ako kanina eh. Nag-premiere ka ba? Pati nga kung may bago kang premiere. Oo, kanina nag-ano ako doon eh. Panoodin ko ngayon habang nandiyan ka. Saglit lang din ako, Cecilia, pasok po ako. Sige, okay lang. Basta at least nakapag-stay ka kahit sandali. Nagtamsak ako doon sa premiere mo eh. Alam ko may premiere ka eh. Papanoodin natin. Ngayon. Kaya nga StreamYard yung ginamit ko para pwede kong ma-present eh. Ito 2 hours ago, hindi ako nakasama. Ako. Yun yung ano niya oh. Nakita ko yan kanina eh. Yan yung kanyang ads or harang. Hinaan ko lang ha. Para hindi masyadong malakas. Yan yung harang nun eh. Mamaya na kita panonoodin. Oh. Ay, nasan to sa SM? Ah, Santo Tomas. SM City, Santo Tomas, Batangas. Ramsak Idol. Epi Sampaga, hello. Mega love shout out. Stay ka sandali para mapanood din natin yung ano mo, video mo. So ngayon pinapanood natin yung kay Ber Villanueva. Lagyan natin ng ano. Wrench. Para mas nakikita ko. Ayan. Thumbs up. Thank you, Epi Sampaga. Thank you po. Gusto ang 2024 ng bawat isa po. I hope na okay naman. Ber Villanueva, kailan kayo namasyal? Sa mga Facebook friends, thank you po. Happy New Year sa lahat. Hope that maging maganda po ang ating bagong taon sa bawat isa sa atin, family, friends, career, health. Yung katawan po natin, lagi din po natin ingatan habang tayo ay nag-work, huwag natin pabayaan na hindi natin din mabigyan ng pansin yung sarili natin.
Is the world's
So yan ay
first.
ano,
Continually adjustable
meron
eyewear.
siyang ads ulit.
The special lenses are
Skip po
adjustable
muna,
to your
mamaya na lang
eyesight.
kita tuloy-tuloy. Meron din sa gitna. Yung boses ba niyan, ano? Yung boses ba niya walang ano, yung kanta, yung tugtog? Walang copyright yung music. Ano na rin kasi yung ano ngayon, si YouTube, lagi na rin pong naglalagay ng mga copyright ngayon. Kaya ingat na rin tayo sa mga music na ginagamit. Nag-ano lang po ako dahil ano, matagal na ako hindi nakapag-live sa dito sa sagutin ko lang po ito ha. Nagte-text siya sa ano. Nagte-text po sa Facebook. Ano rin kasi ako sa Facebook. Epi Sampaga. Ayan, Epi Sampaga. Hello. Wala po sis. Galing sa audio kaso may mga artist po na katagalan nilalagyan na nila ng copyright. Oo nga. Ba't sila ganun, no? Pinapasikat muna yung music eh. Tapos saka pagka papalitan ba? Ginagawa na lang natin dun, palitan na lang natin sa ano natin. Ngayon mga nakita akong copyright sa akin eh. Pinapalitan ko na lang. Kasi dati wala naman siya copyright, ngayon meron na. So, ganun talaga hanggang makapagawa tayo ng sarili nating music. Dapat may sarili lang tayong music eh, para hindi tayo nakaka-copyright. Isang araw na lang, busy na tayo. May pasok na. New Year's resolution. Ano mga New Year's resolution natin dyan? Kumusta naman yung ating mga New Year's resolution? Okay naman po ba yung ating mga New Year's resolution? Kagabi nasa Jewels of Gina naman ako. Uy, tapos na. Deliciously delightful. Hello host, hello deliciously delightful. Hello everyone here in the chat. Hello deliciously delightful. Mega love shout out. Okay, let's check on deliciously delightful. Nagpe-play lang yan sa background. There. Although it's in the background, still playing. I just remove it. Hi, deliciously delightful. Let's see the channel of deliciously delightful. We'll check it out. Pilipino ba si Delightful? Pilipino ka po ba? Deliciously delightful. Si Epi, nandiyan pa ba si Epi? Dapat nauna si Epi eh. Kaya lang parang wala na si Epi. Kailangan ko palang mag-concentrate na ako dito sa sa YouTube. Fresh start 2024. I hope that you have a very good, what do you call this, view sa YouTube. Paano to panonoodin? Sa channel. Okay. Ang hirap pag hindi ka nasanay gamitin. Hello to the people of Facebook and YouTube also. Asa na? Thank you for the thumbs up. I have 2 thumbs up. Thank you. Deliciously delightful. More of food channel. He or she has 2.62k subscribers. And the latest is about curry recipe. 4 months ago, is that the newest? I'll check again if that's the newest. Two weeks ago ito, 2 weeks ago. This one is latest. 2 weeks ago. I'll try to show this one. For deliciously from Thailand, I think from Thailand. Are you from Thailand? From Thailand ba si ano, si Deliciously Delightful? Ayan.
फ्रेंड्स ट्रेनें हमारे गल चुके हैं, अब हम इसको भूनते हैं। इसमें सिर्फ मैंने एक ही टेबल स्पून तेल डाला है और अब इसमें डालेंगे हम लोग एक तेजपत्ता, 2 इलायची और 4 से 6 काली मिर्ची के दाने।
Mamaya nga, ibababad ko na lang to eh.
थोड़ा सा अदरक का पेस्ट डाल दें।
Pag inantok na ako, sleeping live stream. Oy, Des Lorica, hello! Happy New Year! Happy New Year, Des! Kumusta na? Si Des, mega love shout out.
धनिया पाउडर,
Yeah, si Des, laging masipag yan. Masipag upload. Happy New Year! Kumusta ang buhay, buhay vlogger? Kumusta ang buhay vlogger natin dyan? Sumahod na yata kayo eh, ako hindi pa. Mabagal na eh. Masyado nang maliit yung mga natin ngayon eh, ba? Makita natin ngayon. Sino isa?
थोड़ा मॉइस्ट रहने देंगे।
Hoy, mega love shout out. Hi, Press Daisy. Thank you sa panonood. Ayan, bago ako matulog. Ayan, gusto mo bang pwede kang pumunta dyan sa camera. Sino yung isa? Meron pang isa. Hindi nagpakilala. Ay, nawala na. Okay. Des Lorica, ay connected na ba kayo ni Connected na ba kayo ni Ber Villanueva? Matulog na ako, sumilip lang ako. O sige, sumilip lang talaga, gabi na eh. Wala pang pasok. Sa pa kami papasok? Sa January 3. January 2 pa lang bukas eh. So sabi ko, ay, mag-LS ako. Total, wala pang pasok bukas. Halimbawa, mga 1 oras lang to. After 1 hour, ayun na. Pahinga na.
और इसमें डालेंगे टमाटर,
Ayan si yan eh. Deliciously Delightful.
प्याज डालेंगे इसमें।
Tambayan namin to ni Brother Bear. Nila Sis Gina. Tambayan namin to Brother Bear nila Sis Gina Shoko. Oo, dito sila tumatambay. Si Des Lorica na yan.
अब इसमें
Sexy yung mo ha. Sexy yung mga bagong video mo yata, naliligo kayo. Masarap maligo ngayon dyan ha.
हम इसको अच्छे से मिक्स कर लेंगे। अब हम इसमें डालेंगे थोड़ा सा
Monetize, kumusta ang kitaan? Malaki ba yata ang kitaan nyo ha? Oo nga, nung hindi pa na monetize. Uy, kwentuhan nyo nga ako. Tagal na rin kaming connected ni Sister Jewels of Gina. Uy, kumusta? Mga kwentuhan nyo ako tungkol sa YouTube. Nagpahinga ako eh. Nasa Facebook kasi ako. 60,000 minutes ang kailangan doon. 60,000 minutes bago maging monetize sa YouTube. Check natin kay Des Lorica. Yung latest mo na video. Meron din ba kayo sa YouTube? Ay, sa Facebook? Wow! Dragon Spark Thai breathtaking view. Ayun, sa mga nasa Facebook, nandun din po ako sa YouTube kung gusto nyong mapanood yung mga video dito. Kasi dito sa Facebook, hindi nyo nakikita yung video eh. Dito sa YouTube, napapanood pati yung video. Wow, ganda naman. Share ko muna yun, ha. Share ko yung screen ni, Des Lorica. Nasa dagat sila. Hindi ba kayo nag-Facebook? Dito lang kayo lagi sa support. Dito lang ba kayo lagi sa Wag mo na po share na-demonetize ako sa list. Na-demonetize ka ba doon? Oo, mahigpit si Meta, no? Mas okay pa sa YouTube, eh. Napakahigpit ni Meta. Ay, na-demone ka? Bakit? Na-demonetize ka ba doon? Oo, mahigpit si Meta, no? Mas okay pa sa YouTube. Napakahigpit ni Meta. Ay, na-demone ka? Singapore yan, di ba? Ay, hindi. Ano ba? Singapore ka ba? Singapore yan, eh. Singapore o Taiwan? Huwag mo na po i-shared screen. Pwede naman, kung ayaw mo i-shared screen, di wala tayong pinapanood. Boring kasi pag walang pinapanood, eh. Gusto ko rin may pinapanood akong iba, eh. Hong Kong nga. Oo nga pala, Hong Kong. Basta at least lang, paano natin malalaman kung tayo? Di ba may requirement dito sa YouTube, kailangan 365 ba? Ilang hours sa buong taon? Makalimutan ko na, eh. Ang tagal ko nagpahinga sa YouTube. Dahil sa upload ko na birthday, mga picture lang. Ayaw ng mga picture? Ayaw ba ng mga picture doon? Marami na de-demonetize doon, saka maraming bawal. Mahigpit. Mahigpit si Facebook, eh. Si FB, mas okay pa dito sa YouTube. Press Daisy, thank you, ha. Hindi ka pa natutulog. Ed, thank you sa panonood. Ay, umalis na. Natulog na si Press Daisy. Pwede naman po kung matutulog ka na. Wala pa naman tayong pasok bukas sa January 3 ang pasok natin. Sa January 3, hindi na ako makapag live stream ng ganito kaaga. Hindi na ako makapag-live ng ganito kagabi. Kasi syempre may pasok tayo sa umaga. Ngayon sinasamantala ko lang dahil bakasyon. Ayun, nandun sila, si Jet, si Ed, saka si Press Daisy. Anong sabi? Gusto kasi upload muna sa wall bago i-suggest na reels. Ganun ba? Pero na-monetize ka na, magkano sahod dun? Kumusta mga sahod dun? Nung na-monetize ka, $100 din, di ba? Yung ginamit mo ba sa sa
daming nagpa-party doon ngayon sa Hindi, okay lang.
nasa na yun? Yung
Yung
ginamit mo sa YouTube na sumasahod doon din. Ay, wala din. Kala ko na demo. Sabi mo, monetize ka na. O nga, buwis buhay yan, no? Napakataas ng nagsuswimming mula sa bundok. Tagal makasahod sa YouTube. Oo nga, wala lang. Tawa-tawa lang tayo. Tagal muna, higpat pa ni Mota. Nag-demonetize ako sa rules doon. Walay pala, kala ko meron. Tiis na lang tayo sa YouTube. Total, nag-enjoy naman tayo dito eh. Pasyal-pasyal, video-video. Yung kapatid kong babae, sumahod sa sa, sa Reels. Sa Stars, oo. Akala ko yung Stars on Reel, kailangan mabuo muna na $100 yun. Pwede pala kahit $41 lang. May mga stars din ako doon eh, kaya lang naka-hold. Wala pa akong ads on Reel, saka hindi pa yata pwedeng kunin. Hindi ko alam kailan kunin yung mga stars na yun. Paano kunin yung stars? Ikaw ba hindi mo nakuha yung mga stars mo? May mga stars din ako doon, hindi ko nakukuha eh. Ayaw nga, magtatanong pala ako paano kunin yung sa stars. Paano kunin yung sa stars? Sa PayPal siya o kasi sa bangko eh. Ang hirap kasi mga PayPal, GCash, mga nawawala minsan. Pero ikaw, Brad, nag-ano ka na? Nakakuha ka na sa stars mo, sa Facebook stars? Nakuha mo na ba sa Facebook stars mo? Hindi pa rin. Maganda pa rin sa sa YT. Ba't wala na siya? Hindi ko na siya nakita. Ayun. Ayun. Hindi pa sis,
Mas nakakainlove ang nature.
Pagkatapos niyan, matutulog na tayo. Mahalaga lang meron akong activity. Matumal sa stars, hehehe. Oh, mali, mga barya-barya lang naman yun. Tigwa 1 cent ba yun? Yung 1 point na ganun sentabo lang yata yun. Hindi naman siya ganun kalalakihan kasi parang 1 point lang eh. Kaya tinamad na ako mag-upload ng reels. Okay. Oo nga. Mas okay pa dito sa Ay, salamat sa kakapanood. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press Daisy, sa panood.
Saglit lang tayo dun sa eh. Kami tagal namin doon nag-huli. Tingnan natin kung anong meron dito.
Kasi New Year dapat, di ba? Si Edmond Dia, pero ako nagta-type doon. Ako po yun nagta-type doon. Ito pala dapat. Salamat sa panood. Pa-like na lang po. Kasi New Year, dapat New Year, tayo? Nagiging mas mabait tayo dahil New Year. Nagbabago tayo. Mas nagiging okay tayo. Si Des Lorica, talagang atleta to siguro, player yan ng bata,
Tusok-tusok and
Player yan siguro eh.
ask your doctor about neuro.
Masyado siyang aktibo sa mga outdoor sports. Ayun. The Guitar Professionals, hello! What's up, man? Happy New Year! Happy New Year! And I'm also in the Facebook. Happy New Year also in the people in the Facebook. Thank you. And the people in the YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for liking I have a latest upload also in Facebook. Thank you for the thumbs up. Also also for the people who are in here in the YouTube. Thank you. Oy guys, you connect with one another. Guitar Professional is also content creator he is also a content creator from Texas, so you can also visit his channel. Hello Margie, shout out Margie TV. Ayan, Margie TV. Probably next week, this January, I will be having a regular live stream. I will be scheduling it on a Saturday or Sunday. Sorry nag-i-English ako kasi guitar professional is from Texas, USA. He will not be able to understand pag nagtagalog ako. Ayun. I will be planning to have a regular live stream Saturday and Sunday. At least two times a week. Ayan, meron akong 1 hour is enough for me. So ngayon, meron na tayong 32 minutes. Ayan, 32 minutes na tayo. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, the guitar professionals. Kindly connect with one another. Margie TV is also a vlogger. You can also visit her channel. Do you have already, yes, you already have a moderator range. So you can go to the channel. You just press go to channel. Si Margie TV, wala pa. Lagyan ko si Margie TV. Ayan. Margie TV, you already have a ranch. YT pa rin, mas okay talaga. Happy New Year, host. Happy New Year, Margie. Sis Jewels, God bless. Labas na po ako, maaga papasok ko. Bye. Thank you. Happy New Year. Sis Margie TV, mega love shout out. Bye everyone, Margie. Okay. Guitar professionals, are you still there? Wala na rin yata si guitar professionals. Sige, thank you sa inyo ha. Salamat po. Thank you for staying. Nood tayo kay Margie TV. Andali, manood tayo kay Margie TV. Mas maganda minsan manood eh. Para bang hindi ka naboboring. Panoodin natin si Margie TV. Margie. Si Margie laging may laging kasama yung boyfriend niya sa Reels. Kumita ka na ba doon, friend? Margie TV. Kumita na yata to sa Kumita ka na ba sa Meta? Ano pinakabago? Food lunch, creamy burger steak, macaroni. Wow, 91 views, dami nanood ah. Pahingi, pagkain. May music pa nga. Na-share ko na ba? Na-share ko na. Magmuna tayo kay Margie. Nakakatamad na rin kasing salita, kwento. Manood na lang tayo. Nakaka-enjoy pa. Sandali humina yung ating ano? Battery eh. Ayan. Humina, pasensya na. Naglolobat ako.
May landline. Kain tayo.
Kain-kain lang.
Ang harap niya. Kain tayo guys. Hindi po ay kumuha. Napala. Napala siya. Kaya pala mahal, 120 na. Para masarap na. Grabe ang sarap guys. Napa? Meron pang isang broccoli. May ano pa siya guys.
Kain-kain lang po.
Kain kasi may init pa pag malamig yung sarap. Hindi na masarap pag ano guys. Pag lamig na siya. Kain tayo guys. Naman na ako.
Kain lang.
Para kang naglalaway-laway pa. First time ko kumain ng ganito. Alam, maanghang. Puro pala siya sili. Sili. Ma-oily, mamantika.
Okay, sleep na. Ako lang to, dito lang to. Mamagdamag ko siya para maka-time ako, marami akong oras. Ay. Sarap ang kinakain ni Margie
More chili guys.
Sanay ka naman sa manghang. Diba? Sanay ka naman sa manghang. Mamaya. Pagkatapos ni March, papalabas na ako ng iba. Yung aking playlist. Para meron kayong pinapanood dyan. Good night, everyone. Matutulog na rin ako. Tapos kumain din ako. Patay ko na rin yung ilaw dito. Sa Hong Kong ni Boy. Makain ka sa Hong Kong restaurant.
Happy na.
Ay, tapos na. Okay. Sige, manonood tayo ng ibang ano. Yung aking mga live stream ko dati. Mahirap mapuyat eh. Matutulog na tayo. Kahapon ito. Ito yung kagabi. Classmate kami sa nursing assistant. Meron pa rin siya. Kailangan pala tulad ng siksik dito. At baka okay, good night everyone. Yun, okay dito. Harang. May harang ba dyan? Hindi ko nga pala na-check kung may harang ah. Naka-monetize kaya yun. May harang kaya? Ayan, let's see kung may harang po. Sharing time lang po tayo ngayon ha. Kasi hindi ako although may mga alam din naman akong konti, pero mas maganda kung makapag-share po kayo. Hindi ko pa na-share. Hello po sa Facebook. Hindi pa na-share. Facebook page po natin, naka-live din tayo, Jewels of Gina Friends. At dito rin po sa YouTube. Ay, mali. Thank you, Kuya Puji, for coming. Happy New Year. Kumusta ka? Kumusta ka po? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So maya-maya mag-start po tayo, 5 minutes, kahit dalawa lang tayo nag-uusap dyan. Ay, meron din tayo sa kabila, sa Facebook. Kahit 4 lang tayo, mag-start po tayo ng ating pag-uusap. Ano nga ba yung mga magagandang mindset po natin? Or baka gusto niyo po mag-share, pwede rin po mag-share. Pwede rin po mag-share ng mga magagandang ano po natin. Topic po natin na gustong ibigay na mindset sa taong 2024. So, shout out sa kay Kuya Fuji dyan. Nag-iisa sa YouTube, sa Facebook. Shout out naman sa dalawang nanonood sa Delpam po. Saan ba yung po natin? Alam niyo po, kahit isa lang o dalawa kayo dyan na nanonood sa akin, kayo po ay important po sa akin. Very important po kayo sa akin. Kaya, ano po, kailangan naman nakaayos ako ng konti. Tubos lang ng konti at ako'y nangingintab ang lola niyo. Ayan, para lang hindi masyadong makintab. Masyadong makintab ang kulay ng lola ninyo. Ayan. So, Happy New Year! Habang wala pang trabaho, habang wala pang pasok, samantalahin na natin. Habang wala pa tayong pasok ngayon. Happy New Year, ate! Happy New Year! Musta ka na? Uy, hindi ka ba magbabakasyon dito? Ano? Sis? Ano nga palayo ni Enriqueta? May palayo to na malayo yung palayo mo kasi dati eh. Hindi ko na yata maalala yung palayaw mo. Hindi Enriqueta eh. Lin ba? Lin? Lin, ang ano mo? Ang palayaw mo? Ayan, Happy New Year. Dalawa kayo dyan. Dito, isa. Meron din kasi sa YouTube. Meron din dito sa live ng, ng Facebook. So, si Enriqueta Bopo ay kaibigan ko yan. Naging classmate kami sa nursing assistant. Pero ngayon yata office ang ginagawa mo, no, sis, ano? Office na ang ginagawa mo, hindi ka na nag-nursing assistant. Ayun, Lorna, layo nga pala. Ayun, Lorna nga pala, Lorna. Ang first name ay Lorna, pero Enriqueta yung buo. Ayun, naalala ko na. Ang ginagawa mo ba ngayon, yung sa nursing assistant pa rin? Oo nga, Lorna. Naalala ko na, Lorna. 'Di ba? Pumunta pa ako sa bahay ninyo doon sa Sampaloc. Sino ngayon ang nandoon sa bahay ninyo sa Sampaloc? Kung hindi na kung wala ka na doon yung mister mo ang nandoon. Kadali lang mag-aaya ako ng mga kaibigan pa natin na sana makapunta rin. Makapunta rin ngayon. Sana makapunta rin sa pag-uusap. Hindi na siya Ayan, yung topic po natin ngayong hapon na to, Kuya Fuji, sa Lorna, Eds Mondia. Hindi na... Proud part-time cleaner. Ay, oo naman. Malakas kumita yan, sis. Meron nga akong kaibigan sa YouTube eh. Ang lakas kumita. Ay, saka kaibigan ko rin siya dito sa Facebook. Content creator siya. Dalawa yung channel niya. Meron siyang YouTube, meron siyang Facebook. Tapos, in-interview siya doon yung si Sanchez, Corina Sanchez. Ang trabaho niya sa UK na mamasura. Pero ang lakas ng kita nun. Lahat ng mga basura doon sa bansa nila tinatapon na kagad. Tinatapon na kagad yung mga basura doon. Tapos, siya naman, kinokolekta niya yung mga basura, binebenta niya buy and sell. Yung pakikinabangan pa, inaayos niya. Oo. Oo nga. Mas maganda ba not complicated? Ninja Vlogs. Hello, Ninja Vlogs. Si Ninja Vlogs, how are you? Ninja Vlogs, are you a content creator? If you are a content creator, I will just I will just go to your channel so I can check. So yung ating live po, meron po dito, nanonood lang, nakipagkwentuhan lang. Meron naman dito, content creator, para magkaroon ng friends. Dito sa Pilipinas, sa ibang bansa, ayan si Kuya Fuji. Sa sa Facebook, ang pangalan ko ganun din. Jewels of Gina rin po siya. Pero may friends, Jewels of Gina Friends. Dito sa YouTube, walang friends. Sa FB to. Pero sa sa YouTube po, Jewels of Gina lang, walang friends siya. Okay, yung nga po, mas maganda pa yan, mga cleaner, walang stress. 'Di ba, no? Happy New Year, Ninja Vlogs. Thank you, Kuya Fuji. Baka meron kayong gustong i-share. Ano ba ang positive na mas positibong pananaw natin sa 2024? Sa akin kasi naisip ko, number one, huwag tayong magsawang gumawa ng New Year's resolution. Yung 'di ba ginagawa natin pag New Year, 'di ba? Sasabihin natin, ay gagawa ako ng New Year's resolution. Kung halimbawa last year napakagastos ko, ngayong taon na 'to pipilitin ko na makapag-save ako. Pero kung naging negative ka na, hindi ka na positibo, sasabihin mo sa sarili mo, ayoko na gumawa ng ng New Year's resolution, hindi ko naman natutupad sayang lang. So, yun po ang isang positibong natin ngayon, pananaw sa 2024. Huwag po tayong magsawa. Huwag magsawa. Huwag magsawa. Huwag po tayong magsawa na gumawa ng New Year's resolution or New Year's resolution. Kasi po, 'di ba? Lagi tayo nagsasawa. Sabi natin, hindi na ako gagawa niyan. Hindi ko naman natutupad. Katulad ng magda-diet na ako. Hindi ka naman malakas ka pa rin kumain. Malakas ka pa rin kumain. Huwag ka nang mga ako, sayang lang. So wala pong sayang sa ganon. As long po na natututo tayo at sinisikap natin na mapagbuti pa, hindi po sayang yung pagkakaroon natin ng New Year's resolution. Gumagawa po ba kayo ng New Year's resolution? Sino po sa inyo ang gumagawa ng New Year's resolution? Huwag po tayong magsawa sa paggawa ng New Year's resolution. Kasi yun po ay tutulong sa atin na mas nagiging nade-develop po tayo. Mamuhay ng simple, maging kontento kung anong meron at huwag ikumpara ang sarili sa iba. Always be thankful, maliit man o malaki, anong mayroon tayo. Wow, thank you, Lorna. Si Lorna po, isa sa pinaka-humble na taong nakilala ko. Kahit nung kasama ko pa po siya sa pag-aaral ng tungkol sa nursing assistant, kasi noon plano namin mag-caregiver kami sa abroad. So magkaklase kami sa paaralan. Apakasimple po niya talaga. Tapos simple lang ang buhay, simple lang na maging masaya. So pagka simple lang po ang buhay natin, madali lang po tayo makontento. Tama po yan, ang ganda. Mamuhay daw ng simple, maging kontento kung anong mayroon at huwag ikumpara ang sarili sa iba. Yes, minsan kaya tayo nagiging malungkot. Minsan po, bakit po tayo malungkot? Kasi po, kinukumpara natin yung sarili natin. Halimbawa, ay siya, ang ganda ng sasakyan niya. Ako yung sasakyan ko, luma lang. Malulungkot po tayo pag laging ganon. Lagi pong tingnan natin kung ano yung mga blessings natin. Okay, so yon yung sinabi ko kanina po, New Year's resolution. Marami po dapat, lalo na sa health, ano ba ang dapat natin gawin? Yung pagkain natin. Ayon po sa research, hindi tayo nagkakasakit dahil hindi po tayo nagkakasakit dahil kulang tayo sa pagkain. Nagkakasakit po tayo dahil sobra-sobra po tayo sa pagkain. Tingnan ko lang po kung sino si Ninja, ha, kung anong niya. Anong main channel mo, Ninja? Okay, Nilus Vlog. Nilus Vlog, 3.64K subscribers. Hello friend, welcome to Nilus Vlog's YouTube channel. With 3.64, 3,600 more or less subscribers with 107 videos. Welcome to my Nilus Vlog YouTube channel. Okay. I have already subscribed to you, my friend. I'm already a friend of yours. Wow. Cooking this food. Ano siya? Yung pagkain niya ay yung YouTube channel niya ay cooking channel. Alam mo ba, malabo na yung mata ko, Lorna, kaya lagi ako nagsasalamin na. Ikaw din, ate, mabait ka at madali maabot. I am so lucky dahil lahat kayo mababait na mga classmate ko sa NA. Yes, okay, sa section natin, tama. Musta naman ang New Year dyan? Kumusta ang New Year dyan? Ba't di ako makapagsulat? Comment set with... Hindi ako nakakapagsulat Kumusta ang New Year dyan sa sa Russia? Sineselebrate din ba yung New Year dyan? Parang katulad din dito sa Pilipinas o iba? Kasi ang Russia parang iba yung kultura yata niyan no? Hindi natin alam kung sineselebrate din nila yung dyan. Sineselebrate ba nila yung dyan, New Year o hindi?
Are you coming towards the end of your career and you're starting to worry that you've run out of time?
Hello, Believe Nation. I started the Mentor Me series with the goal of trying to learn from people who've done a lot more than us by surrounding ourselves with them a little bit more than usual to get
Hello, good morning mga ka-jewels. Ayan, bago po ako pumasok, sabi ko I will just make a short video about sa mga naranasan ko this past few weeks. And then sabi ko maggagawa ako ng mga extra video kasi I will be out for 7 days. Mag-a-attend kami ng training workshop dito sa Olongapo. So dito sa Ann Raquel Resort, doon kami pupunta. So, sabi ko baka hindi ako makagawa ng mga video for the coming days. So, sabi ko magagawa ako ng video. And this video is very important. Due to my experience with my sister, shout out to you, Pia Fronda, Red Fronda of Pia's Hair Salon. Ayan, ito, care of sa kanya ang hair na ito. Ayan, ayan, ang hair na yan. Yan, inayos ni Red Fronda yung hair na yan. Kaya shout out to you. Thank you, friend. Bumata daw ako. Salamat naman. Bumata ako. At natatakpan yung aking pimple breakout. Ayan, gumagaling na rin. Ayan. Nakita nyo ba? Medyo, guys, di ba? Medyo umiimpis na yung aking mga pimple breakout due to puyat-puyat and stress. So, dapat happy lang. Huwag tayo magpapa-stress. Happy lang tayo lagi para maiwasan ang mga pimples na yan. Ayan. Due to my experience with Pia Fronda, yan. Sabi niya, sana, friend, nakatapos din ako ng pag-aaral. And you know what, friend? Kahit po hindi ka nakatapos ng pag-aaral, Pia Fronda, many people will like to trade places with you. Ayan, continuing what I am saying a while ago, kahit even the successful people, marami po sa kanila hindi naman nakatapos ng pag-aaral, but they were successful. So it just prove to us that education is a contributing factor, but it's not the key. Hindi siya yung key. Kasi marami naman po nakatapos pero hindi naman totally considered successful ang kanilang life. So, ang success natin can be different from one person to another, di ba? Ang success natin, after weighing everything, ang success po means happiness or yung merong kang contentment with yourself. So, ang success can be different from one person kasi pwedeng sa iba, success means successful business. Success means having a complete family. Success means having a long life. So, iba-iba po ang ating pananaw about success. Kaya nga po, kung sa tingin mo po ay baka hindi ako maging success because I have not completed my education. Hindi po. Just go on. Ang mahalaga po is to continue with what you want to do or that will make you happy. Kasi at the end of the day, happiness will be determined by you. Hindi po sila ang magde-determine ng iyong success kundi kayo. So, siguro sa pananaw ng iba, it can be yung nakikita natin, di ba? Yung malaking bahay niya, marami siyang pinupuntahan, travel here and travel there. Sa tingin po ng iba, yun po ang success. Pero at the end of the day, we determine our own indicator if we are a success or not. So, sa akin, para sa akin, ito po yung sarili nating happiness. So, sa tingin nila siguro, I am just a simple lady, and simple lang ang background namin, simple lang yung bahay namin. Pero para sa akin, I am successful because I have a family that I love and they love me also. I have friends, kayo po yon, you are my jewels, my viewers, my YouTube, and I found this hobby, ito nga pong pag-YouTube, I am learning a lot from here at nakakatuwa po, na-enjoy naman po with all these sacrifices, kasi minsan nga talagang isinisiksik natin yung time natin, being full-time worker, and at the same time, pag may extra time po, ginagawa ko po ang aking pag-video. Kaya minsan po, you will see my video, ganyan lang, kasimple. Kasi ang mahalaga po sa akin ay yung maipa-inspire ang mga taong makikinig sa akin to inspire you. Ayan, kung sa tingin nyo po, wala kayong chance to become successful because you have not finished your study, hindi po totoo yun. Marami pong naging successful na tao na hindi naman po nakatapos. Inuna nila yung business, and then after a while, nung naging successful businessman na sila, and even kahit si Manny Pacquiao, naging evidence po yan sa atin na hindi naman po siya nakatapos. Pero nung nagkaroon na siya ng financial capability, that's the time that he enrolled in the alternative learning system of the DepEd. It's a program of the Department of Education wherein the overage people who would like to go back to schooling will be able to attend. And so it's called the alternative learning system. You don't need to be in school. It's an informal way of learning. Those who are working, so even though you are full-time in your work, you can still go to school through ALS. Yun ang tinatawag na ALS, Alternative Learning System. So it's a flexible learning mode wherein the school will go to your place. Meron siyang flexible schedule. It depends on you. May sarili ka ring flexible na teacher. And you will also be considered a graduate. So, it's another way na ma-reach out po ang ibang mga tao na will not be able to go into formal schooling. Kaya yon, I just mentioned it just to tell you na hindi naman po lahat nag-start with education before success. Meron naman iba, naging successful muna sila sa business or in their work, and that's the time na nung meron na silang financial capability, that's the time that they enroll and they pursue their higher education. So, yun lang po for today. Just dream big, start small. Pag business owner ka, malaki yung dream mo, pero wag ka munang maggastos ng malaki, mag-umpisa ka muna sa maliliit. And then, kung ano man po yung ginagawa natin ngayon, continue it until you transfer or you move or you transition doon sa the things that will make you happy. So, ganun lang po lagi tayo. Always be creative, always be positive. Focus on the solution. Na minsan pagod na pagod ka sa kakaisip sa problema kasi yung problema lang iniikot-ikutan mo. It's a thing that hours pass by, many time pass by, doon ka lang nag-iisip sa problem. So, focus on the solution. Tung merong light bulb moment. Yung light bulb moment, yun na nagbibigay sa atin at nagkaka-create tayo, nakakapag-isip tayo, ay yun pala ang dapat kong gawin. Sorry po, nakatingin ako sa sarili ko. Dapat nga pala sa inyo ako nakatingin. Dapat nga pala sa inyo ako nakatingin. Ayan. Ayan, kaya yun lang po ang maikli kong video na ito na isinishare ko sa inyo for today. Thank you, thank you. Mwah, mwah. Love you. And as usual, kung bago ka pa lamang sa ating channel, Jewels of Gina, where positive thoughts is as precious as jewels. You can like, comment, and subscribe. Anong pwede nating i-comment? Ano yung what makes you feel successful? Kasi 'di ba sa iba, a nice car would make them feel successful. Happy family. para sa akin, it's a one way na masabi ko I am successful if I have a happy family. Yung magaganda yung mga friends mo, true friends can be an indicator of your success. What else? Pwede mo ring sabihin na ang true success is yung meron kang healthy body, meron kang long life, and then you serve other people. It can also be a way na you feel successful kapag nakakatulong ka sa ibang tao. So, yun po ang pwede nyo i-comment dyan sa baba. And then, makikita nyo po yung pulang kahon. If you like the content of my channel, you will be inspired more. Marami tayong mga video. You can go back to my old video para ma-inspire pa po kayo. Just press the subscribe button and also the bell notification. And the bell notification, kaya naman po natin to pine-press so that you will be updated sa mga bago kong video na lumalabas. Okay, thank you. At shoutout po sa mga nag-attend ng live streaming ko kaninang umaga. Marami po kayo. Ang mga naalala ko lang po ay si Lori the Explorer, Sean Williams, ayan si Elmond Jones, Josefino Rodriguez, andyan din po si Heart of Gold, si Sweetheart Pascual, si Media, si African American Life in the Philippines, nandyan din po si Annelyn Agkukus, nandyan din po si KD Arcaina, yung aking yung aking kapamangkin, yung aking husband, syempre si Edmond Dia, yung si Wilvie Jane Sibua, yung aking daughter-in-law, at saka si Sean Williams, of course, nandun siya, si Lori the Explorer. Sino pa yung mga ibang umatan? Shout out sa inyong lahat na mga sumusuporta po sa ating channel. And always, sabi ko nga, be a blessing to all of us. Ayan, syempre, shout out to Fen Family Vlogs, shout out to Viv Quinto, shout out to Angel Castil. Maraming po tayong kaibigan. Kung iisa-isahin ko po kayo, aabutin tayo ng 24 hours a day po na hindi ko pa mababanggit ang 1,560 na nag-subscribe sa ating channel. Filipinas po kan Military Wife, Guevara Tology, marami pa pong iba, mga pumasyal-pasyal kanina. Salamat sa mga pagpasyal ninyo sa akin. Thank you po, and be assured na I will be going to your house also, to your cinema, at ibabalik ko po ang inyong mga magagandang ngiti, ang inyong mga boxes, ang inyong mga gifts sa akin. At sa mga viewers, you are my organic viewers, yung pong mga walang UI type YT YouTube channel katulad ni Josefina Rodriguez, salamat po. At thank you very much. Thank you. Spread the love. Be a blessing in the place where you are, everywhere, or even in your workplace. Happy Teacher's Day! Thank you po! Lola at principal na si Jewels of Gina, na hindi ko po titigilan talaga tong no homework policy na to. As promised, this video ay i-express ko naman yung aking mga saloobin tungkol dito sa no homework policy na isinusulong ng ating mga representatives at ng Senator Grace Poe. Sabi ko nga po, disclaimer muna, ang lahat ng mga sasabihin ko are just my personal opinion and it does not come from any source or any authority, kundi po sa sarili ko lang po, dahil ako rin po ay isang parent, at the same time, isa ring teacher at isang school head. So, yung aking pong pananaw ay hindi ko masasabing isang standpoint lang or isang area lang ang tinitingnan ko for the benefit of, for example, me as a teacher. Kasi hindi lang naman po ako teacher. Ako rin ay isang magulang. Meron din po akong anak na pinag-aaral. Kaya tiningnan ko po yun. Kaya para sa akin, yung pananaw ko ay overview sa lahat-lahat ng iba't ibang perspective. Perspective as a school head, perspective as a parent at perspective as a teacher. Okay. So, but before that, paalala ko lang, kung gusto nyo laging ma-upload at lagi nyo mapanood yung aking mga video, just press the subscribe button and then mag-comment lang mamaya. Welcome na welcome po lahat ng comment nyo about this hot topic. Kasi lahat tayo will be affected by this topic. Kung kayo ay estudyante, maapektuhan kayo. Kung kayo ay parent, syempre, marami tayo ay lahat magiging apektado ng policy na ito. Okay, just for clarification, may dalawang set or dalawang version ng no homework policy na ito. Yung isa yung kay District Representative ng Quezon City na si kagalang-galang Alfred Vargas, and with Senator Grace Poe, dahil pareho yung sa kanila. Yung sa kanila, the teacher can give the homework from Monday until change is inevitable. Are you going to become a loser? Or it will be a part of your being a winner? Good morning mga ka-jewels, where precious thoughts are as precious as jewels. Hello, kumusta kayo mga ka-jewels? Kumusta yung aking mga mahal na ka-family, ka-YouTube viewers, at my fellow Pinoy creators and YouTube creators. Today, our topic is about change. Hello sa mga hindi pa pala nakasubscribe, mga kaibigan. Uy, shout out sa mga ka-alumni ko dyan ha, mga ka-batchmates ko sa Novaliches High School. That's where I graduated ng high school, but I will not say secret yung yung secret yung yung taon kung anong date yun. Basta video is about change, and not only syempre lalo na sa mga katulad kong YouTuber or creator, and then it can also be applied in any other area of your life. Kasi hindi lang naman sa YouTube may pagbabago, even sa ating life, di ba? Suddenly, may biglang nag-abroad sa kapamilya, that will entail a change. Suddenly, nawala ka sa trabaho, nawalan ka ng trabaho, you resign, or you were fired from work, so nawalan ka ng trabaho. So definitely, there will be a change in your life. What else? Bigla ka nagka-boyfriend, may change. Biglang nawala si boyfriend, may change. Biglang nag-away, may change. So, in every aspect of our lives, there is always a change. I have prepared 3 steps of what you can do when there's a change in your life. Ito po, napaka-applicable for us YouTube creators, but also are very effective to apply in the changes not only in YouTube but even in our own lives. Okay, meron po siyang acronym na AKA, AKA. A stand for accept, K.
So we could say knowledge is for the mind and experience is for the body. And in that moment, you're beginning to embody the truth of that philosophy, of that theory. And you're literally signaling new genes in new ways. And you are rewriting your biological program. But if you've done it once, it must mean you can do it again. And if you can repeat any experience over and over again, you are going to neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. And when you've done something so many times that the body now knows how to do it as well as the mind, now it's becoming innate in you. It's second nature. It's easy. It's familiar. It's who you are. As a matter of fact, you've practiced it so many times that you don't even have to consciously think about it because it's becoming a subconscious program. So our job is to go from philosopher to initiate to master, from knowledge to experience to wisdom, from mind to body to soul, from thinking to doing to being, to learning it with your head, practicing it with your hands, and knowing it by heart. And you and I have all the biological and neurological machinery to do this. And this is a time in history where it's not enough to know. This is a time in history to know how. And I can tell you from my last 5 years of traveling around the world, the common people that look just like you are doing the uncommon. They're healing themselves of very serious health conditions. They're creating better opportunities and better lives for themselves, new careers. They're healing old scars and wounds that kept them connected to the past. And they're having mystical experiences that transcend language, that take them years to be able to understand and explain. And they look just like you. That most people in their life wait for that crisis or the trauma, the disease or the diagnosis, some kind of loss, betrayal in their life before they make up their mind to change. And my message has always been, why wait? Why wait for that tragedy before you decide to change who you are? That when you begin to apply these principles because you understand that they work, then it means then you'll believe in a future more than you believe in your past. And people who do the work are more in love with their future than they are with their past. And they're more interested in telling the story of possibility in their future than reliving the emotions and experiences of the past. And you know, the beauty behind all of this is that you don't have to be a monk. You don't have to be a priest. You don't have to be a rabbi. You don't have to have 40 years of meditation. You don't have to be a scholar or an academic. As a matter of fact, it's better if you're not. Because the simplicity of all of this, when people begin to apply it, is they begin to experience the fruits of their efforts. And I can tell you there isn't a person in this room that is so special to be excluded from this phenomenon. And that your thoughts literally have an effect on your body. That all thoughts carry an energy or a frequency. And if you believe that on some level that your thoughts have something to do with your body or your life, and you're thinking 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same redundant thoughts as the day before, it's going to produce the same measurable effects in your body, yes or no? And you are going to begin to emit the same energy and information in your field. And you are going to keep creating the same life. So then the same thoughts always lead to the same choices. The same choices always lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences. And the same experiences produce the same feelings and the same emotions. And those very same emotions drive your very same thoughts. And your biology, your neurocircuitry, your neurochemistry, your hormones, and even your genetic expression is equal to how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. That's it. So if you wanted to create a new personal reality, a new life, you would have to change your personality, yes or no? That means then you would have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it, yes? You would have to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors and modify them, true? Even what you say and how you talk. And you would have to look at those emotions that keep you connected to your past, because emotions are the end product of past experiences. And you would have to decide, do these emotions belong in my future? That means if you want to be wealthy, you can't take lack or unworthiness. wealthy person would never feel that way. So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You're literally going to have to become someone else. So the principle in neuroscience says that nerve cells that fire together. So if you keep thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, demonstrating the same behaviors, create the same experiences that stamp the same networks of neurons into the same patterns, all for the familiar feeling called you, then wouldn't you agree then, if you've done that over and over again, firing and wiring, emotionally conditioning and signaling the body in the same way into the past? If you did that, I don't know, let's be conservative, 25 years, would you agree then you would begin to hardwire your brain into a very finite signature? Yes? And that finite signature is called your identity. And it's a fact that by the time we're 35 years old, we become memorized to a set of automatic programs, behaviors, beliefs, perceptions, emotional reactions that function subconsciously. So then the first process of change then would become conscious of your unconscious thoughts, yes or no? And because of the size of the frontal lobe, which is 40% of your entire brain, the crowning achievement of the human being, the fact that you can observe how you're thinking, notice how you're acting, and pay attention to how you're feeling, the moment you can observe that, it means you're no longer the program, yes or no? You're the consciousness observing the program, and you're beginning to objectify your subjective self. You're no longer your biology. You're the consciousness observing who you are, yes or no? Yes. So then the word meditation then literally means to become familiar with. That's what it means. That's the symbol. So then if you begin to become familiar with how you've been thinking, and you're so conscious of those unconscious thoughts like, I can't, what's wrong with me, it's too hard, I'll never change, I'll never make it, I'm too tired, nobody loves me. Those are the thoughts that are slipping by your analytical mind unchecked and beginning to program your autonomic nervous system into the same destiny. The moment you become aware of what comes out of your mouth and how you act, whether you blame or complain or make excuses for yourself or judge other people, the moment you become aware of that, if you're so familiar with that program, would you agree the more conscious you are of that unconscious habit, the less likely you're to go unconscious? Yes or no? Yes. And it would take an act of will to stay present and aware. Yes or no? And if you're becoming so familiar with the emotions that you've been living by every day for the last 20 years, that you didn't even know that you were guilty because it just felt like you. And it was so comfortable suffering that you felt really good to feel bad. But you didn't know that because that's just how you've been feeling. Yes or no? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you become conscious, oh my God, what have I been doing? The moment you become aware of that, then, it means then you're less likely to lower your energy and your emotional state during your day because you would become conscious of it. Yes or no? And what if, then, you decided, what thoughts do I want to put my attention behind? Let me review them, how a great person would think. What would be the internal dialogue they would have? And you began to fire and wire those circuits in your brain. And if you did that a few times, you would begin to install some circuits in your brain, yes or no? And if you kept thinking that way, firing and wiring, the hardware would become a software program, yes or no? And who knows, in your waking day, you may start thinking like a great person because the circuits are there, yes or no? Yes. And if you said, I'm going to master this day, one lifetime, how would an unlimited person live today? And you began to rehearse in your mind who you were going to be before you opened your eyes. The act of rehearsing mentally, when you're truly present, Your brain does not know the difference between what's going on out there and what's going on in here. And all of a sudden, you begin to install more circuits in your brain, priming it. All of a sudden, installing those circuits so that you have the hardware in place to act like that person, yes or no? Come on. And if you've done that enough times, would you all of a sudden start acting like that person in your waking day? Because you've primed your brain instead of to be a record of the past, that now it's becoming a map to the future. Yes or no? And then what if you said, now this is to me greatness, can I teach my body emotionally what my future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? Now, this is the challenge, because we've studied this so much. Most people wait for their wealth to feel abundant and worthy. They wait for their success to feel empowerment. They wait for the healing to feel gratitude and wholeness. They wait for their new relationship to feel love. Or they wait for the mystical moment to occur to feel awe. That means then we're victims to our environment. We're waiting for something outside of us to change how we feel inside of us. And the moment we feel better inside of us, we pay attention to whoever or whatever caused it. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. That's Newtonian physics, cause and effect. In other words, if people are in lack, or they're empty, or they're suffering, they're waiting for some external exogenous condition to change how they feel. And what happens if it doesn't happen? They spend the rest of their life fighting for it, trying to controlling it, manipulating it, trying to make it happen because they're separate from possibility. But don't you know that the moment you start feeling wholeness, your healing begins? The moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, you're walking towards your future called wealth. The moment you're empowered by a vision, and every single day you're living in that energy, you are going to tune into a new future. And synchronicities and serendipities are going to begin to happen all around you. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you're going to magnetize an equal. And the moment you're in awe of knowledge and information, you're going to have a mystical experience. And that's causing an effect. And so then, if science tells us that the environment signals the gene, are you with me? Yes. And all genes make proteins. And proteins are responsible for the structure and the function of your body. And genes are like Christmas tree lights. They turn on and off all the time, and we've measured this. Would you agree then that if an experience in your environment produces an emotion, and science tells us it's the environment that signals the gene, when you begin to experience the emotion ahead of the environmental experience, you're signaling the gene to begin to make new proteins to prepare the body for that future experience. Are you with me? Yeah. Now you're in alignment biologically with the destiny, neurologically, chemically, hormonally. And all of a sudden now, this is the beauty. If you're able to then maintain that state of mind and body, where there's physical evidence in your brain and body to look like the experience has already occurred because you're doing the work, then the magic starts to happen in your life, and it comes out of nowhere. Those coincidences, those opportunities that begin to unfold are unfolding because you're no longer living in the known. You're living in the unknown. Are you with me still? And I'm telling you, you're more alive and at your best when you're in the unknown than when you're in the known. Are you still with me? Yeah. So then, if the brain is a record of the past, it's an artifact of everything you've learned and experienced to this moment. Would you agree then, if you're not being defined by a vision of the future every single day, you're left with the old circuits of the past? Yes or no? And if you are living by the memories of the past and you're not installing any circuits into the future, then you're going to be predictable in your life. Yes or no? Come on. And if feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, and you remember experiences better because you remember how they feel, the moment you wake up in the morning and you say, let me see, let me think about my problems. Oh, now I'm starting to feel a little bit more like myself. Wait, let me grab my cell phone and let me check my WhatsApp and my texts and my emails and my Facebook. And Jennifer's eating carbohydrates. Did you see that? Oh my God. And my high school boyfriend is looking for me. And the moment you begin to connect to your network of your personal reality, the moment you start turning on those circuits in your brain and you come back to your senses and you get connected to those emotions that have defined you based on memories, and those emotions are driving your thoughts, and you can't think greater than how you feel, you're thinking in the past. Yes or no? Yes. And you'll keep creating more of the same life. So then, think about this. You wake up in the morning, your brain, for the most part, is in the past. Yes or no? Yes. Come on, poke the person next to you over there. And would you agree then, if you connect to a familiar feeling or an emotion, and those emotions are driving your thoughts, and those thoughts are creating the same emotions, and those same emotions are driving your same thoughts, and those same thoughts are creating the same emotions, that you're conditioning your body into the past? Yes or no? Yes. And your body is the unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that's creating an emotion and an emotion that you're creating by thought alone. To the body, it's believing and it's living in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yes or no? Yes. And the body is beginning to continuously get the same information, and it's believing it's in the same environmental condition, which means you're signaling the same gene in the same way. Yes or no? And now you're headed for a genetic destiny. Yes or no? And you've done nothing wrong. You're just taking too long. Because those emotions then will define you. And then someone will say to you, what's up? Why are you so angry? Why are you so bitter? Why are you so afraid? Why are you so in so much pain? Why are you suffering so bad? And you say, I'm so glad you asked. And then you tell a narrative, the story of your past, firing and wiring the same circuits in your brain, working yourself up into an emotional froth to keep signaling the body into the past, reaffirming your personality based on a feeling. And the latest research on memory says that 50% of what you're talking about isn't even the truth. That you make stuff up. You embellish it. That memory is creative. And what that really means after all these years of studying this, when you ask a person that, it means that they had an event or a series of events in their life that branded them emotionally. And when they tell that narrative, what they're really saying is, I haven't been able to change since that event. I've been altered from that experience. Yes or no? Yes. And they find people in their life that are the same emotion, the same energy, and they use each other to reaffirm their addiction to that emotion. And they get agreement for it. And they say, I can suffer more than you can. No, I can suffer more than you do. Are you with me still? So then, the body becomes conditioned into the past, which means for the most part, most people's biologies are anchored in the past. And if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, and you're thinking the same thoughts that are creating the same feelings and same emotions, and those emotions are influencing your thoughts, Would you agree then? You're signaling that same gene over and over again, and if genes are responsible for the structure and the function of the body, and you keep selecting and instructing the same gene, you're going to wear that gene out. Yes or no? Yes. Just like gears in your car. Taking a fax of a fax of a fax of a fax, or a copy of a copy of a copy, sooner or later, it's going to lose its detail. Yes or no? And that's exactly what happens to the body. The body begins to break down because those proteins are responsible for your physiology, for your structure. So then if immune cells make immune proteins, and you're living in fear every single day, you're living in anger and resentment and impatience every single day, then you're signaling the same gene in the same way. Yes or no? And if you keep doing that for a period of time, sooner or later you're going to program that gene, and all of a sudden the body's going to get unhealthy. Yes or no? Yes. And look, you know, people say, well, I did my meditation 3 days and nothing happened. But I tell them, how long did it take you to create that condition? Tell me. So then if meditation means to become familiar with, you got to become more familiar with the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions of your future than familiar with the thoughts and behaviors, emotions of your past. Yes or no? Yes. So then if you keep firing and wiring the same circuits in your brain, installing the circuits, the hardware becomes a software program, and it gets easier to think in unlimited ways. It gets easier to act like a wealthy person. It becomes easier then to cultivate the emotions of your future instead of the emotions of your past. And our students, people in this work, some of them have had horrific pasts. They've been abused, they've been traumatized, they have had very difficult conditions, and they stopped telling the story of their past. They started telling the story of their future, and they started believing more in that in their past. And when people come up to me and they vomit all over me about their past, I don't have a problem with that. I know that it's natural to do that. But I always ask them, listen to me, if you can't overcome that past in some way and you're feeling those emotions, you'll only talk about your past when you're feeling those emotions, because those emotions bring you back to your past. Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Yes. But if you're having a great life, you never talk about your past anymore because you're no longer emotionally bound to it. Yes or no? Yes. So then the moment you start feeling emotional, hint, you're back in your past. Yes or no? So now reason this with me. Great experiments have been done on the fact that we emit light and information, that you are an electromagnetic being, that you are emitting energy and information. And all that energy is carrying a message. And if you're living every single day in the same energy, then your life should not change in any way. Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Yes. Come on, stay with me. Did the gene thing throw you off? So think about this. When you are living in fear, when you're living in anger, when you're living in resentment, you're living in survival because those emotions signal the stress response. Yes or no? Yes. And when you turn on that stress response, you are going to draw from this invisible field of vital energy around your body, that light and that information, and you're going to turn it into chemistry. And you're going to diminish your very field around your body. Yes or no? Yes. So then, when you perceive a threat, when you see a circumstance in your environment that is unpredictable or unknown, the moment you perceive that, you activate that fight or flight nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, and you're going to mobilize enormous amounts of energy to prepare yourself for that danger in your outer world. Yes or no? Yes. And you can do that on the short term because that's survival. But when the event is over, the body rests, parasympathetic nervous system turns back on, long-term building projects start to occur, you're starting to heal. And all organisms can tolerate short-term stress. But what if it's not a predator? What if it's your coworker? What if it's your boss? What if it's your sister-in-law? Because of some past experience, you're perceiving that condition in your environment based on your past, and you're turning on the same stress response as if you were being chased by a predator. Yes or no? And you keep going back into that environmental condition, and you knee-jerk in the same way, and you keep producing those same chemicals over and over again, same chemicals over and over again. The stress chemicals downregulate genes to create disease. It's a fact. Are you with me still? So then, if you're doing that for an extended period of time, and all of a sudden now you become addicted to the very rush of chemistry that gives the brain and body a rush of energy, would you agree then, if you keep doing that over and over again like an addict, you need to feel angry. You need to feel lack. You need to feel unworthy because it reaffirms the emotional state. Are you still with me? Now, it gets a little bit weird here because we got a big frontal lobe. And you can just call up a memory from the past. And the moment you call up the memory from the past, your body's in the past physiologically and emotionally. And you can begin to worry about the worst thing that could happen in your life. Out of the infinite potentials in the quantum field, you're going to select the worst case scenario. And you're going to begin to get ready for that event. And you are going to begin to change your emotional state in preparation for the worst thing that could happen. Because in survival, if you prepare for the worst, you have better chances of surviving. Are you with me still? Now, I would call that a limited imagination. Yes or no? But in survival, though, when you're in stress, then, if you prepare for the worst and it doesn't happen and something less happens, you have a better chance of living. And this is the primitive survival gene that begins to become activated. And people spend their entire life doing this. And all they're doing is marrying a clear intention, a vision of their future, which is a very limited point of view, and embracing it with a familiar emotion of the past. And they're expecting their past to be their future. And if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, that person's past is going to be their future. Are you with me still? Yes. So then, reason this with me. If you can turn on the stress response just by thought alone, and the hormones of stress give the brain and body a rush of energy, and people become conditioned or addicted like junkies to those emotions, then would you agree with me then? If you can turn on that stress response just by thought alone, that you can become addicted to your own thoughts. Yes or no? And if the hormones of stress are highly addictive and you're using your boss or your coworker or your sister-in-law or your finances to reaffirm your addiction to that emotion, is it possible you become addicted to the life you don't even like? Yes or no? And this is why change is so hard. And if you can turn on the stress response just by thought alone, and the hormones of stress downregulate genes to create disease, then your thoughts could make you sick. Yes or no? So, okay, let's go out on a limb here. If your thoughts could make you sick, is it possible that your thoughts could make you well? Yes. Okay. So then that means then that you would have to start a process of no longer drawing from this invisible field of vital energy and turning it into chemistry and diminishing your own light field. When you do that over time in chronic stress, and you keep drawing from this invisible field of energy and turning it into chemistry, you have no light field. Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Yes. So now you're more matter and less energy, more particle and less wave. And in fact, the hormones of stress cause you to narrow your focus on objects and things and people because that's where the danger is. And when the hormones of stress kick in and your brain waves go into high beta and you're aroused, you're going to pay attention to your outer world and you're no longer going to want to believe in your inner world of possibility. Are you with me still? And if the survival gene is switched on, then you won't want to go in, close your eyes and create, because it's not a time to create. It's not a time to focus on the unknown. It's a time to prepare yourself for what could be lurking behind those corners. And it's not a time to learn. It's not a time to open your heart. It's not a time to be vulnerable. It's not a time to sit still. It's a time to run, to fight, or to hide. And people spend the majority of their life living by these hormones. And those hormones cause us to become materialists, using our senses to define reality. And if you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't feel it, it doesn't exist. And all of a sudden, people all of a sudden give up possibility. And now, when they're more matter than energy, they will try to force outcomes, control outcomes, predict outcomes, fight for outcomes, because they are matter trying to change matter. Are you with me still? And as people begin to try to control and predict all the different things in their life when they're aroused by these chemicals, each person, each object, each thing, each place, each experience has a neurological network in their brain because they've experienced them already. Yes or no? And as they shift their attention from one person to one problem or one thing, they start activating these different circuits over and over again. And all of a sudden, if you measure that in the brain gets highly incoherent. It's a house divided against itself. And when your brain is incoherent, you're incoherent. And when your brain isn't working right, you're not working right. And at the exact same time, when this vital energy is being drawn and turned into chemistry, the heart, the center of oneness, the center of wholeness, your first step to divinity right here, the bridge, your connection to the unified field, it loses its energy, and all of a sudden it starts to beat very incoherently. And the emotions of resentment and impatience and hatred and violence cause the heart all of a sudden to no longer be in balance. And all of a sudden we no longer trust our heart. What we want to do is protect ourselves from everyone and everything in our life, and we no longer trust. And if you can't trust in the unknown, then it doesn't exist. And people understand when they're living by the hormones of stress unconsciously to run from the unknown. Because the unknown you can't predict, and it's being in that state of the unknown and not being able to predict your future that actually creates the stress response. So nobody takes a chance in possibility, and everybody's waiting for everybody to do it. Are you with me still? And when you narrow your focus on matter and on objects and things and people, you're focusing on the particle in quantum physics, and you're eliminating the wave of possibility. And where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And if all of your attention is on matter, then energy doesn't exist from you, and you will feel separate from the field. You will live in lack. And you will say, I feel empty, and I need that thing to make me feel better. And once I get that thing, I'm going to experience the emotion of it, and when I get it, then it's going to make me feel better. But when the novelty wears off, here comes the emptiness again. So then you say, I'm in lack again. I need one of those. So then you got to go to work, and you got to drag your body through space. And when you drag your body through space, you experience time. So then you got to go back and forth to work to make the money to pay for the thing that's going to fulfill some lack. But it never does. Are you with me still? And people then, all of a sudden, after 30 years, they have their car, they have their house, they have their relationship, and they're too exhausted to enjoy it. Are you with me still? And that's called normal. But would you agree with me then? If you're waking up in the morning, come on, stay with me. If you're waking up in the morning and you're not being defined by some vision of the future, and your biology is in your past, and you get up and start your day, when you see the same people and you go to the same places and you do the exact same thing and you see the same object in your life, it's your environment that's influencing how you think and feel. Yes or no? And you will be thinking and feeling in the past because your biology is in the past. Yes or no? Come on. So if you see the same people and you go to the same places and you do the exact same thing at the exact same time, you would have to agree with me then that your personality is no longer creating your personality. Your personal reality is creating your personality. Your environment is controlling how you think and feel. Yes or no? And as long as you're reacting equal to your environment, you should create more of the same environment. Come on. And there should be a nice biological dance, a perfect match between your neurocircuitry, your chemistry, your genes, your hormones, with what's going on in your life. There's a tango going on between your inner world and your outer world. Yes or no? Yes. So then, your environment is actually controlling you. You're a victim to the circumstances in your life. And you see the person, you unconsciously react. You go to the certain place and you think about in the past how it was. And so then, if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, and you keep thinking the same thought that keeps producing the same emotion, that same emotion is influencing how you're thinking. You're hardwiring your brain and conditioning your body emotionally into the past, yes? And if you do that enough times, thinking and feeling in the same way, the body becomes the mind of that emotion. Now the servant has become the master, and the body's running the show. Yes or no? And so then if the body then has become the mind of that emotion, then to change then would be becoming greater than your body. Yes or no? And if your environment has that much influence on how you're thinking and feeling, then to change then is to be greater than your environment. Yes or no? And if you're waking up every single morning, coming back to your senses, looking at the person next to you saying, oh my God, who is that? How did I get here? Jeez. Wait, let me think of all my problems. Okay, I'm starting to feel like myself. Let me get my cell phone. Let me check. Okay, now I'm feeling like myself. And then you get up and you go through the same routine behaviors in your habitat. You have the vision of the toilet, and the next thing you know, you're in front of the toilet. Then while you're on the toilet, you have the vision of the coffee maker, and there you are, you're in front of the coffee maker. And then while you're drinking your coffee, you have the vision of the shower, and there you are in the shower. And while you're in the shower, you get super creative about the clothes you're going to wear, and next thing you know, you're dressed. And your body is always following your mind, but it's following it to the known. Are you with me still? And let's just say you drive to work the same way and see the same people and go to the same grocery store and buy the same food and watch the same television shows. And then you get in front of the mirror at night and you put your lotions and potions and creams on and floss the same way and brush your teeth. And you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and you're doing the same exact thing. Yes or no? Yes. Would you agree then we can take your past and lift it up and set it on your future? Yes or no? Now, that's karma. That's it. That's karma right there. And so then if you've done that enough times, a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through frequent repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times, your body now knows how to do it better than your mind. Are you with me still? So if you wake up in the morning and you're doing that, would you agree then your body's on autopilot? And it's dragging you into a predictable future based on what you did in the past. And you're unconscious. Yes or no? And I assert that when you are not in the present moment, you're running a program. So don't take anything personally from somebody, because they're just running a program as well. Are you with me still? So then, think about this. Would you agree then that if you are going to heal your body by thought alone, to create some new experience in your environment by thought alone, to create some new future that's no longer your past by thought alone, then you would have to become thought alone? Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Yes. So then would you agree then if your environment is so strong in conditioning you into the past, would you agree then maybe it'd be a good idea to sit down at the beginning of your day, close your eyes, and disconnect from your external environment? Yes or no? So then if you're seeing less things in your external environment because you've closed your eyes, all of a sudden now, your environment isn't going to control how you think and feel. Yes or no? And what if you were to play soft music in the background or put earplugs in and diminish more sensory information coming in from the environment? Would you agree you'd start putting more attention on your inner world instead of on your outer world? And what if you said to your body, hey, sit right here and stay right here. Don't you get up yet until I tell you it's time to get up. And your body is going to buck and kick like an unbridled stallion. I'm busy. I got a lot to do. I got emails to check. I got meetings to go to. Because you programmed it that way, yes or no? And every time you say to the body, stay, are you telling it it's no longer the mind, that you're the mind? Yes or no? And now the will is becoming greater than the program. Yes or no? And all of a sudden, if you became conscious that you were angry or emotional or suffering, and you became aware that that emotion was keeping you into the past and driving your brain into high beta, and you became aware of it, and then you settled your body back down into the present moment, and you kept taking it out of the past, sooner or later the animal's going to surrender. Yes or no? And when it does, you are going to liberate energy. You are going to go from particle to wave, from matter to energy. And when that happens now, all of a sudden, you start feeling a little bit more joy, and energy starts to move right there. Are you with me still? Yes. And if you are uncompromising to the eternal present moment, the generous present moment, and you keep coming back to the present moment, and you understand where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and you're no longer thinking about the people you have to see and the places you have to go and your cell phone and your computer and your emails and the news, and you keep returning your attention back to the present moment, would you agree then you're disinvesting your energy out of the known future and you're making room for the unknown in your life? Yes or no? So then, in meditation then, if you are literally going to make some type of change and affect your outer world, you're going to have to put most of your attention on your inner world, and you're going to have to become greater than the conditions in your environment and disconnect from your environment. You're going to have to sit your body down and overcome your body, and you're going to have to transcend time. Are you with me still? So then when you're living by the hormones of stress and you're in a threatening situation and the survival gene is turned on, then you're going to spend the most of your time thinking about your environment. Yes or no? And what is your environment made of? People, pets, things, objects, places, time. Yes or no? And when you're living by the hormones of stress and that survival gene is conditioned and turned on, would you agree that you better pay attention to your body if you're being chased by Mr. Big? Yes or no? So most people start to put all of their attention on their body, and they start believing that they're their body. Are you with me still? And if you're living by the hormones of stress and you're trying to predict the future based on the past, then you would have to agree with me then, when you're in the present moment, you can't be in stress. Because there is no future and there is no past. There's only the present moment. Yes or no? So then meditation is about that. And what we've measured over and over again when we've done this, as I now know, without a doubt, that you are at your absolute best when you get beyond yourself, period. And I can tell you right now, you can't tell me you're too old. You can't tell me you're too out of shape. You can't tell me about your past. You can't tell me about your disease. I have seen transformation and shifts in people's bodies independent of how old they are, how out of shape, how in shape, their wealth, their social status. I've seen it happen on all cultures, all ages, all kinds of people. Are you with me still? So then, if you start taking your attention off your body, then would you agree that you would become nobody? Yes or no? Yes or no? And if you took your attention off all the people in your life that you have to take care of and make sure everything's in place, and all those people have created your identity, that the moment you take your attention off all those people in your life, you become no one. Yes or no? Come on. And if you're not thinking about the things you own and all the objects, your computer, your cell phone, then all of a sudden you're in nothing. Yes or no? And if you take your attention off the place you have to go or the place you're sitting, and you get so lost in your inner world that there's no longer an outer world, then you're in nowhere. Yes or no? And if you are not thinking about the predictable future or the familiar past, and you are in the generous present moment, then you are in no time. Are you with me still? And that means then you're no longer your face. You're no longer your pain. You're no longer your job. You're no longer your gender. You're no longer your diet. You're no longer your profession. You're no longer a mother. You're no longer a father. You're no longer a kid. You're no longer your culture, your skin color. You're no longer your name. You are nobody. No one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. And in that moment, you are walking into the door to the quantum field. You are passing through the eye of the needle. Are you with me still? And now here's what happens when this occurs. And we've measured this enough times. When you're thinking about all those people and things and problems and conditions in your life, and your brain is aroused because of the hormones of stress, and you're in survival, and you're activating all those circuits in your brain is firing very incoherently, and your heart is out of rhythm, and you're drawing from this field and turning it into chemistry, and you're more matter and less energy, that there comes a moment where all of a sudden the person has to settle down and there's chaos going on within them. They're disconnecting from their environment, and it's the unknown. And they have to work in trusting in the unknown more than the known. And as they do this properly, and they get beyond themselves, and they're no longer thinking about those people, they're no longer thinking about their pain or their body. They're no longer putting their attention on objects or things or places and time. If they're no longer activating these circuits in the brain because they're no longer thinking about them, guess what happens? Their brain waves begin to change from beta brain waves, high beta aroused state, into alpha. And in alpha, all of a sudden, the inner world starts becoming more real than the outer world. The brain starts to imagine. And when you're out of the way, and you're no longer thinking and feeling in the same way, and you're changing your brain waves, as you change your brain waves, you're falling right into the autonomic nervous system. And as your brain waves slow down, all of a sudden you're connecting to that autonomic nervous system that wants to just do one thing: create order and balance in your body. And it says, she's gone. She's out. And it steps in right into the neocortex. And when it steps right into the executive brain, all of a sudden it starts taking those different compartments of the brain that were no longer working together and starts to synchronize them. And all of a sudden you see the front of the brain talking to the back of the brain. We've seen this so many times. You see the right side of the brain talking to the left side of the brain. And all of a sudden you see the brain starting to move into a more holistic state. And what sinks in the brain links in the brain. And all of a sudden, the person starts to feel connected to something greater. Are you with me still? And the moment that that happens, we can predict it now. The neuroscientists that come and study our work, we say, she's going to pop. What do you mean? Just watch. She's going to pop. And all of a sudden, the brain starts working together. And as they're no longer thinking and they're no longer putting their attention on objects and matter and people and things, and they're all of a sudden putting their attention within them, and that brain starts functioning in a holistic way, it starts to synchronize, and those brain waves become highly coherent. And all of a sudden, when that happens, that energy moves right into the heart. And at that time, we've measured this, all of a sudden, that person starts to feel whole. When that brain, that right hemisphere and that left hemisphere come together and it starts to synchronize, the union of polarities, the union of duality, the union of separation or opposites is called wholeness, it's called love. And the moment those two hemispheres come together, that energy breaks right into the heart, and the person's heart goes into super coherence. And the field around their body can be up to 8 feet wide, 9 meters wide. Now they're more energy than matter, more wave than particle, and they feel connected to something greater, and they would never try to control an outcome. They would never try to force an outcome. They would never try to predict an outcome, because they understand that all they have to do is put their attention on possibility. And their body's going to follow their mind to the unknown. And it's so amazing when this happens. You can see the person's heart go into coherence. You can see their brain go into coherence. And you can walk around while they're in the meditation. You can look at them like this, and there are tears of joy rolling down their face. They are being baptized by the divine. They are connected to the unified field. And the unified field is that quantum field that governs all the laws of nature. And when that occurs, they feel so whole and so in love with life and so in love with themselves, it's impossible to want. How can you want when you feel whole? You feel like you have everything. And that's the moment the magic happens over and over again. And there is a biological, neurological, genetic upgrade in that person when they connect to the unified field. And when you connect to the unified field, you will go from somebody to nobody to everybody. From someone to no one to everyone. From something to nothing to everything. From somewhere to nowhere to everywhere. And from sometime to no time to every time. Isn't that the quantum field? And when that occurs, you will feel so connected and so whole. When you're in that state, you no longer experience separation. You no longer are saying, I need that. You're saying, I already have it. I don't really need anything. And when you're in that state, guess what happens? You go from selfish, driven by the hormones of stress, to selfless. And all of a sudden, that heart of yours begins to open, and the innate capacity in you to give, to take care of, to nurture, to serve is who we really are. And all of a sudden, you create a community of people that are in love with each other, and they understand the way that we survive is in cooperation, no longer in separation. Are you with me still? So imagine this. Imagine. I always say that the thought that you think is the electrical charge in the quantum field. And how you feel is the magnetic charge in the quantum field. And how you think and how you feel is broadcasting information into the field. Are you with me still? Come on. So then if you have drawn from your visible field of energy and turning it into chemistry, and you're more matter and less energy, you're separate from that field, it's going to take a long time for your dreams to occur. Yes or no? Because we live in a realm where there's infinite space. Look at, space goes on forever, yes? And the way we experience time as matter is we drag our body through space. Let's go get that. And if we drag our body through space, it's going to take time. So it's going to take time for you to get your dreams because you're matter trying to change matter. Yes or no? But if you're in a realm, and Einstein said, I didn't say this, Einstein said it, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. He didn't say the particle is the sole governing agency of the particle. Matter doesn't affect matter. Energy affects matter. Are you with me still? So then if you were in the field, then you should be able to connect to that energy and begin to exert greater effects on matter. Yes or no? But doesn't that mean you can't take your body there, right? Can't take your face. Can't take your weight. Can't take your vegetarian diet. Can't take any of it. You got to leave that all there. You got to go as consciousness. You got to go as an awareness. Yes or no? Now, we've measured this enough times. Imagine 750 people in a room in an advanced workshop. They have overcome themselves. The first day is all about overcoming themselves. And we know that the energy in the room usually goes up slightly, because we measure it, or it goes down slightly, or it goes up a little bit. Because as people begin to break their emotional bonds with everyone and everything in their life, they're drawing energy from the field, and they're building their own vital field of energy. Yes or no? Yeah. So then we should see the energy in the room drop. And we do, because, hey, if you're using your best friend to reaffirm your addiction to suffering, hello? Am I getting too close? And then you're breaking that addiction, then you're gonna no longer be bound to that person energetically, and you're gonna start calling energy to build your own field. Because all of that suffering, all of those emotions, all that guilt, all that resentment is your creative energy that's tied up. Are you with me still? So there's no energy to create with. So then as you're drawing from this invisible field of energy and you're breaking the bonds with your past, present reality, the energy of the room will drop. And we've measured it. But when people start to overcome themselves, all of a sudden they start to contribute to the field of energy in the room. Now all of a sudden their heart starts to become more coherent. How do we know that? We measured it. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care about your past. I don't care about your skin color, your gender. I don't care about any of that. When people finally open up this center and we teach them how to do it, and I just was in a long meeting with the Heart Math Institute that we partner with, and he keeps telling me, your results are supernatural. And I keep telling him, our students are supernatural. Imagine 750 people in the room. They're overcoming themselves. And they start activating this center, their center of oneness, their center of wholeness, their connection to the unified field. And as the heart starts getting coherent and it starts creating elevated emotions like gratitude, people are feeling the emotions of their future that begin to create holism and oneness. And not just doing it for a few seconds. We want our students to sustain it, to make it a skill, to regulate internal states independent of the conditions in their external environment. And our students can hold it for 45 minutes. Imagine, the heart is in super coherence. When that heart starts to beat in rhythm and they're sustaining it, all of a sudden that field starts to expand. That energy starts to become very coherent, like dropping a pebble in water, after pebble, and it's creating this wave. And that's the magnetic field around the body. Are you with me still? A measurable magnetic field. This is science. And that energy is a frequency. And all frequency carries information. So imagine then 750 people in the room opening their heart with an elevated emotion like the joy for existence, the love for life, the inspiration to be alive, care, kindness, compassion, activating this center, the union of duality, and they're putting out a measurable, coherent magnetic field. And if all that frequency carries information, they lay the thought, the intent on that energy. And what if you had 50 people in the front of the room wearing heart rate monitors? And they're sitting there, and the rest of the room is sending the thought on that energy for the greatest good for those people sitting in the front of the room. You tell me then how majority of those people, how their hearts all go into coherence at the exact same time, on the exact same day, in the exact same meditation. You see, we are bound by that field of love and energy. Are you with me still? And that's what creates community. So then, when you start to open your heart, every single person that you are connected to, you begin to have an effect on, because you are entangled in energy. Are you with me still? So then, when that person starts to go into heart coherence, and they start producing a measurable coherent field, and their brain is in coherence, there's research that shows that the heart and the brain are communicating not just by nerve cells and nerve tissue, that they're interfering and creating a coherent electromagnetic signature. And the heart begins to act like an amplifier, and it begins to affect the brain, becoming more coherent. The brain sends a more coherent message to the heart, and all of a sudden the person is in a whole different state of being. And that state of being is what I call the natural state of being. That's who we really are when we're not separate, when we're not warring, when we're not deceiving, when we're not competing, when we're not prejudiced, when we're not living in fear and hostility that creates separation. That's who we innately are. Are you with me still? So then, if your energy becomes coherent, and the person next to you's energy is coherent, and those two energy fields come together, and they start interacting, and they start interfering, they're going to create a bigger amplitude, a bigger wave. Yes or no? And the bigger the amplitude, the higher the energy. Yes or no? And then the higher the energy, then the more energy we should see in the room. Yes or no? And we've measured the energy in the room, and it always goes up in our events because the divine is present. And the person then becomes more energy than matter, more wave than particle. And now, we used to see, years ago, small changes in our events. You know, people having here and there some wonderful experiences. And now, it's happening in shorter and shorter amounts of time. And the higher the energy, the faster the frequency, the more connected they are to the unified field, the shorter amount of time it takes for it to occur. Are you with me still? And I can tell you without a doubt, I've looked at over 8,000 brain scans. I can tell you that when you analyze your life within some disturbing emotion that's created by the hormones of stress, you are going to make your brain worse. Because those emotions are the past, and you're thinking in the past. And if you're aroused by those stress hormones, you're going to drive it further and further into high beta. We've seen it over and over again. I can tell you without a doubt that your brain doesn't change your brain. I can tell you that the program doesn't change the program. The ego doesn't change the ego. The personality takes a long time to change the personality. It's only when you become pure consciousness. That's the moment you have an effect on matter. Are you with me still? And imagine then, we've seen this now, when a person truly connects to that unified field, and we can predict now almost when it's going to happen, if their brain is being measured, would you agree then you should see higher energy in the brain? Yes or no? So then when a person, listen to this, is connecting to that unified field where all possibilities exist and they no longer feel separate from their dreams, they feel connected to their dreams, all they have to do is put their attention and their awareness on what already exists. Yes or no? Come on, that bounced off some of you. Poke the person next to you, please. So if you're in a field where all possibilities exist and you feel connected to everyone, everything, everywhere, every place, every time, then you don't have to try to create anything. All you have to do is pick it. Yes or no? Put your observation on it. Experience it. Become aware of it. So then imagine students, and I've labored for 3 years, almost 4 years, to have our students be able to sit in a meditation for an extended period of time and get beyond their bodies. And now our students, our advanced students, they can sit for as long as they want to sit. They know how to do it. They can change their brain waves in 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 9 seconds, 12 seconds. It's not like, hey, I'm getting to the quantum field before you. It's not like that. It's more like a skill, yes or no? And imagine, we had all these wonderful, wonderful elders in our event in Tampa just a few months ago. And you can't tell me that you're too old to do this, because I saw them connect. And one lady in her late 70s said, I lost my spiritual virginity today. She connected. So imagine then, when the person truly connects to that field and they begin to tap into a greater frequency, it should be measurable in their brain, yes or no? And imagine we're capturing amplitudes of energy that have never been recorded in the history of neuroscience. And we can say, when that occurs, she can't make her brain do that. It's happening to her. And while that's going on, we're doing all this amazing research. The brain is in deep, deep, deep delta. That person, their body is sound asleep and their mind is turned way on. They are way in that autonomic nervous system. And when that occurs, they all of a sudden connect to a greater frequency. And all of a sudden we see these amplitudes of energy. It looks like a snowstorm on the EEG, on the brain scan. And I know that person is having a full-on sensory experience without their senses. They are having an inward experience that's greater than their trauma, their betrayal, their shock, their diagnosis, their fear. Whatever's happening between their ears is more real than anything that's happened in their external environment. Now think about this. If you're having a full-on sensory experience without your senses, what would happen right now if your senses were amplified by 30%? What if everything you were seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, feeling, what if your senses were amplified by 25% right now? Would your awareness of reality be amplified by 25 or 30%? Yes or no? And if your awareness is amplified, then your consciousness is amplified. Yes or no? And you can't have consciousness without energy. They're married. So the energy of the brain goes up. And then the next thing you know, the inward experience rewires the brain in an instant. And it sends a new emotional signal, but it's not emotional. Emotions like fear and guilt and shame, they're slow energy. It's an elevated energy. It's not emotional, it's energetic. They're getting an electrical charge in their body. And they'll say, I was baptized in light. Light filled my entire body. And that is the moment they're getting a new emotional signal to the body. And the receptor sites on the outside of the cells are 100 times more sensitive to frequency and to energy than they are to chemistry. And in 1 second, that person is transformed. And that's what's happening now in our work. Are you with me still? So, I don't really want to argue quantum superimposition any longer. I don't want to talk about theory any longer because my heroes, the people that I want to be with, are people just like you. That I don't care about keynote lectures or conferences. I'm bored with them. I've outgrew them. I want to be with doers. Imagine, we were in Italy just a few months ago running an advanced workshop. I have a whole new team of neuroscientists that we're working with. And I was trying to get to these guys. They're physicians and researchers, and I'm trying to get to them to show them some of the crazy stuff, to prepare them. Like, get ready, this is going to get wild. And they're busy doing all their brain mapping and get everything organized, and we're going to meet for lunch, and I get to lunch early, and then I have to go, and then I'm leaving, and they're coming in. In 3 days, we're doing this. I'm going to get to you guys, I'm going to get to you guys. And then after like 3 days, I'm like, nothing like an experience to cause a long-term memory. I thought, the hell with it. Let them just have the experience, you know. So, second day, Friday afternoon, I'm introducing a new meditation, and we have a room of 600 plus people, and I'm on the stage, and I'm leading the meditation, and all of a sudden, I see all this commotion going in the back there, and they're screaming and yelling, and my staff comes up, you better get back there, you know. So I go out the back here, and I go along the hallway, and I come in the back, and this is what they're saying, okay? There's a woman sitting in the middle of this meditation, and she's lit up. And when I mean lit up, she's having an experience. And the brain scientists are watching the screen, and they're saying she's having a massive seizure. Now, they've never seen anything like this before. Here's the humor in the situation. The woman who's sitting in the meditation is a physician from London. Are you with me? And she is connecting to the unified field, and she's getting an upgrade. And she is on the fringe of this incredible, loving intelligence, this intelligent love, and it begins to consume her, because that's what the quantum field is. It's intelligent love. And she made up her mind. This is what she said before she started that discipline. She said, I have to prove to myself that this is possible, so I'm going to do it for everybody in this room. I'm not going to do it for me. I'm going to do it for everybody in this room. I got to get beyond my analytical mind because I have very, very rigid training. You with me? So here she goes. She gives it everything she has. She surrenders. She trusts in the unknown. She becomes nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. And then I say, you're in that infinite field of information. Just because you can't see something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Put your awareness on that field. Pay attention to it. Surrender to it. Feel it. Experience it moment after moment and become more aware of it. So then if you put your awareness on your nose, it exists, yes? Yes. But if you don't have your awareness on it, it doesn't exist. Yes or no? Come on. So then if you don't have any awareness on the quantum field, it doesn't exist for you. Yes or no? Until you put your awareness on it. So I'm asking them to unfold deeper into the unified field and experience it. Put your awareness on it moment after moment, and certain people start to connect to that energy, that coherent energy. And all of a sudden, in 1 second, her entire brain goes into gamma. Not just regular gamma, which is super consciousness. We're talking about lots of high energy gamma. It looks like, crazy stuff, and the scientists are yelling back there, and I come back and they're going, she's having a seizure, I go like this, shh, 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 shh. Put my hand on her, I go, quiet. And she's back there listening to them say, she's having a seizure. Now, she's a physician, and she's saying, oh, this is not a seizure. She's not saying that. She has to decide, do I listen to that or do I keep going? And she just said, I'm going. And so she surrenders into this experience, and she's sustaining this high level of gamma, coherent gamma, super consciousness. All of her awareness is on her inner world. In other words, she is aroused. Her sympathetic nervous system has switched on, and instead of switching on like being chased by a predator, instead of that energy be drawn from the field, the sympathetic nervous system is switching on, and it's taking all that energy stored in the body and it's driving it up to the brain. And when it goes on, all of a sudden the brain goes into gamma, and she's aroused from the inner experience. Are you with me? But it's not from a predator or from a danger. It's from the divine. And now she is in gamma. So I say to the scientist, shut up, let her have the experience, don't bother her, and get back here with that brain scan afterwards. So we have the break, they come back there, and they're all sweating, and they're freaked out, and, oh my God, yeah. So they show me this sustained gamma, and then, my whole theory about the mystical is that energy has to reach the pineal gland. And when the pineal gland gets activated, melatonin all of a sudden starts to produce derivatives, metabolites, that create the mystical experience. Chemicals that create a phospholuminescent energy in the brain, create hallucinations or vivid imagery, suppress the drives of the body, create antioxidants for healing, release chemicals like Valium that sedate the analytical mind, and the person's going to go mystical. They're going to go dimensional, and she went dimensional. And when we put up the three-dimensional imagery, the hologram of the brain, the entire pineal gland was on fire. It was on fire. I knew in that moment that what we were doing was correct. So we had the scientists come up on the stage. There's nothing like a good story. We bring the doctor up there. We show the brain scans. The scientists are like little kids, goofy and laughing. Ooh, I can't believe it. This is crazy stuff. It's not a seizure. I spend hours with these people every week and go to meetings, and they're yelling at each other. This can't be. I'm not, it can be. Well, it's not normal. I know it's not normal. You got to think out of the box. So she tells the story of how the divine connected to her and said, hey, in imagery and profound information, I've always been with you. Welcome. And she was laughing and crying at the same time. And now this is not like a dream or visualizing. You understand this is a download. Yes? And with that information comes energy, because you can't separate the two. She's getting a very profound message. She's on the stage sobbing, telling the story. And then the event ends in Italy, and we all fly back to Seattle. And when I land in Seattle, one of the researchers is a physician. She's a brilliant lady. And she sends me a picture of this woman who's the physician from London, and she had eczema from the time she was 3 months old. Now, she's a doctor now, right? She did the diet, she did the cortisol, she did all the creams, she did all the things, took all the Benadryls, and of course, all of that was matter trying to change matter. Yes or no? Yes. And so she got a little improvement, and kept it at bay. So they send me the picture of her arm with eczema covered all over her arm, and then two hands like this, and eczema all over her hands. Monday morning, they send me the next picture of her arm, and there's no eczema on her arms anywhere. None. And no eczema except a little bit on the outside of her hand. So then, if you connect to that unified field of oneness and wholeness, then wholeness and oneness should be reflected in your biology, yes or no? And would you agree the more you surrender and get out of the way and get beyond your body and your face and your skin color and your culture and your problems and your past and your future, and you trust in that unknown, the deeper you go into it, the faster the frequency, the shorter amount of time it should take to produce effects in your life. Yes or no? And people who do this work always say the same thing. It came out of nowhere. And I always say to them, that's because you created it in nowhere. Something appeared out of nothing. That's because you created it from nothing. It happened in no time. I know. You created it in no time. Yes or no? So then, the divine in you, in closing, has always been present with you. Yes or no? It's an omnipresent intelligence that's loving you into life. Yes? And so there's your outer environment, and if you want to hide the divine anywhere really well in a human being, you put it within them, because they'll look everywhere else for it. Yes? So it's a presence, yes or no? And it's standing here and it's waiting. And you know when someone's present in your life with you because they're paying attention to you, yes or no? And you know when they're not present with you because they're not paying attention to you, yes or no? So imagine this presence that's waiting for you to do your meditation, and you go like this, you're doing your meditation like that. God, I gotta meditate today. And it's going like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I don't know if I can do, that's what you're bringing to it. And then while it's standing there waiting, you're thinking, I got to take care of that person, I got to check that email, I got to do this thing. And all your attention is on your outer world, and it's going, hello, I'm over here. And then would you agree that the moment you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, you're taking your attention off somebody, someone, something, someplace, sometime, and you're becoming nobody? Now you're looking at it, yes or no? Yes. And you walk through that eye of the needle. Once you get through it, then there's more. And if you can unfold deeper into the unified field, and as you move closer towards it, would you agree then you'll experience greater degrees of wholeness and oneness and less separation? That means you won't have to try to create your dreams. All you have to do is become aware that they already exist and experience them. Yes or no? So then the closer you get to it, the shorter amount of time it should appear in your life. Are you with me still? Come on. And what if you were to connect with it? Truly connect with it. Would you agree then you will become more willful because it has an amazing will? Come on. Yeah. You become more loving. It's a loving intelligence. Yes or no? You become more giving. It's a giver of life. Yes or no? You become more forgiving. It's forgiven you millions of times. Yes or no? You become more conscious. It's a consciousness. Yes or no? You become more mindful. It has an infinite mind. Its nature will become your nature. Its mind will become your mind. And people then in your life will say, something's up with him. He must have changed his medication today. Because as Dawson said, your nervous system is the greatest pharmacist in the world. And that common people just like you are doing the uncommon. And this day-to-day is to inspire you to begin to practice it in your life and to draw with a community of people that are actually doing it. And that they carve out a little time out of their busy day to present themselves to the world as a greater ideal. And if you can sustain and maintain a modified state of mind and body your entire day and keep your energy up, get ready, because something unusual is going to happen in your life. It's the law. And I know it from experience, and I've witnessed it too many times. And it will come in a way that you least expect. Why? Because if you can expect it, it's nothing new. If you can predict it, it's more the same. It's got to be a surprise. It's got to rock your world. It's got to catch you off guard, and it has to leave no doubt that what you did inside of you produced some effect outside of you. And when you can correlate the changes you made inside of you with the effect you produced outside of you, you're going to pay attention to what you did, and you're going to do it again. And that's when we go from being a victim to being a creator. Thanks for listening. Our research shows that your thoughts can make you sick. And the question is, if your thoughts can make you sick, can your thoughts make you well? That's absolutely possible. That's easy to learn. So when you wake up in the morning,
Dr. Joe Dispenza,
researcher and best-selling author.
One of the most sought-after speakers in the world.
All with the aim of helping people better understand and unlock the power of their mind.
I'm concerned about human species.
Why?
75 to 90% of every person that goes to a healthcare facility goes because of psychological or emotional stress, and it gets addictive to people. They need the bad relationship, the bad job in order to feel. And there's so much research to show that when they analyzed their life within some disturbing emotion, we saw that they were actually making their brain worse. But 50% of that story isn't even the truth. People are reliving a miserable life they never even had just to excuse themselves from changing. You can't wait for your wealth to feel success. You can't wait for your new relationship to feel love.
But 95% of who we are by the age of 35 is programmed.
Yeah, but there is a way to change. And so the model of change is breaking the habit of the old self and reinventing a new self. But if you teach people how to do that, in 7 days you can see very significant changes. So try this out as an experiment. First thing you have to do is...
Dr. Joe, you're someone that's constantly doing research and developing new ideas about the way humans are and the way the universe is. What are the beliefs in your head that you're too scared to share?
Oh boy, I have a very strong belief that...
Before this episode starts, I have a small favor to ask from you. 2 months ago, 74% of people that watch this channel didn't subscribe. We're now down to 69%. My goal is 50%. So if you've ever liked any of the videos we've posted, if you like this channel, can you do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe button? It helps this channel more than you know, and the bigger the channel gets, as you've seen, the bigger the guests get. Thank you and enjoy this episode. Percent of who we are by the age of 35 is programmed. When I read that in your work, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks because I just turned 30. And if what you're saying there is true, without realizing it, there's a puppet master that sits above me that's calling the shots in a way that I don't think I've realized. Is that true?
I think if we define a habit as a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your conscious mind. Then it's programmed subconsciously. So then when the body knows how to do it better than the conscious mind, then for the most part, the greatest habit we have to break is the habit of being ourselves, right? So there's a principle in neuroscience that says that nerve cells that fire together wire together. If you keep thinking the same way, if you keep making the same choices, if you keep doing the same things, if you keep reproducing the same experiences and feeling the same emotions, your biology begins to become hardwired in a sense. It becomes programmed. So in order to change something, to arrive at a new vision of your future, if you wanted to arrive at a new goal or new vision of your future, you'd have to change something about yourself in order to get there. And you'd have to change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you feel. When you begin to become conscious of those unconscious thoughts, so conscious that you don't let them slip by your awareness unnoticed or unchecked by you. If you catch yourself speaking in a limited way, or you become conscious that you're behaving in a certain way, in a habit, and you can notice or pay attention to how you're feeling, then you're no longer the program. Now your consciousness observing the program, you're only unconscious when you're in the program. And so to change then is to become so conscious that you don't go unconscious again. And in a sense, that is consciousness that is really the puppet master that really decides who we want to be. I think the biggest problem is that people lose their free will to a set of programs. And so their body is basically programmed into a predictable future based on what they've done in the past. So to change that habituation takes an enormous amount of energy, an enormous amount of awareness.
Why is this operating system, this program, useful? Because I look at everything the way that I do, and from doing this podcast and speaking to experts, I've stopped thinking that my body is against me. And I've started to realize that there's a reason for these things. There's a reason for the habits and patterns. And so why is this useful? Because it seems to be working against me in so many ways.
Well, first of all, when we look closely at certain habits, whether you can ride a bicycle, whether you can speak a language, whether you can snowboard, when you first learn any of those things, it takes an enormous amount of conscious awareness to get your body to do what your mind is intending. But if you keep doing it over and over again, then the body begins to economize it in some way. And so we have a lot of things that we can do automatically or unconsciously or subconsciously that allows us to multitask, to drive your car, to talk on the phone, to do several different things at the same time. So a habit isn't a bad thing. They can work for you or they can work against you. The problem is if you're, as an example, complaining and blaming and making excuses and feeling sorry for yourself and judging other people, and you practice that and you get really good at whatever you practice that enough times that you're unconscious to the fact that you're doing it. The moment you become conscious that you want to change that, you're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar. It's going to feel some degree of uncertainty. You're leaving kind of familiar known territory and you're stepping into the unknown. And so many people, when they want to change a habit, they have to be willing to be uncomfortable to do it. But habits can work for us. There's a lot of great habits that you and I both have that I would never want to change or would want to evolve in some way. But then there's a lot of habits that don't serve us. And so a person really wants to set a vision of the future, whatever that is, and they just have to agree that in order to arrive at that vision, they have to change in order to get there.
Someone said to me that there's a certain type of behavior pattern that we can't change. They said when we get trauma under the age of 10, things that happen at a very early age, some of those things cannot be changed. And then there's things that happen later in life that can be rewired and changed. Is that true? Are there some traumas, behavior patterns that just appear to be too stubborn and too resistant to change?
If you asked me that question just a few years ago, I probably would have a different answer than I do today. Because if you look at a lot of the work that we're studying in terms of human change and human transformation, we've seen people with really difficult pasts, really brutal pasts that were abused and traumatized at a very early age, and then repeated traumas that took place in people's lives. And they had night terrors, and they couldn't be in relationships. They had social anxiety. They had a lot of health conditions. We've seen them completely change to be happy people again, to free themselves from the past. And so I would never put a limitation on change because I just don't think you can really predict that. I think many people that are learning how to change and they understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and the how gets easier. I think for the most part, people can change all kinds of things. And when they do change, our research shows that their brain changes, their heart rate changes, their gene expression changes. There's thousands of metabolites that are being released into their bloodstream that weren't there prior. There's a host of different changes that take place biologically to kind of support the person's transformation.
Is there a specific transformation that sticks in your mind as being the clearest evidence that you should never write off someone's ability to transform?
Wow. I'm so pleased to tell you that my beliefs have been challenged just in the last 2 years in witnessing so many different changes in people's health that I never knew was even possible. Everything from stage 4 cancers that were in a very progressed state that metastasized to organs and tissues and bones in the body, a complete reversal in that health condition. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. We've seen it many times. We've seen people that were blind, that have been deaf, that have ALS, that have lupus, that have MS, that have Parkinson's disease, that have spinal cord injuries, that have strokes, PTSD, myasthenia gravis, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy. We had a woman that had her thyroid removed, surgically removed, and I know this is difficult even for me to accept, and grew a new thyroid back. We have the medical evidence for that. So I don't know any longer what the limit is. I think there's something really cool happening in the world when people believe in themselves. And when you believe in yourself, you have to believe in possibility. When you believe in possibility, you have to believe in yourself. So when somebody has the opportunity, and I think a story is, everybody loves a story. There's nothing better than a story. And when someone stands on a stage in front of 2,000 people and talks about their journey to heal themselves from a chronic health condition, and it's not always pretty. They lose things. They lose family. They sometimes lose their careers. They get sick before they get better. And you see this person's persistence, and you see that they were not doing the work, their inward work to heal. They were doing the work to change. And if they understood, if they truly changed, that their biology should change, and they were uncompromising every day in showing up for themselves and staying conscious of their unconscious self, and then reprogramming themselves in some way. When they tell that story, it's the 4-minute mile. It's somebody breaking through a level of consciousness or unconsciousness, and the collective that's observing the example of truth. They're actually relating with that person in a way that causes them to examine possibility differently. And when you become conscious of a new possibility, a change in consciousness is a change in awareness, right? So now it's in the collective. And lo and behold, it's not uncommon. We just had this happen in our week-long event in Denver just a little over a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And we had 6 people stand up out of a wheelchair by the end of the event. Now, I wasn't expecting that, but one person that had MS in the middle of the week had a very profound experience. And a professional athlete, NFL football player, and stood up. And he stood up for the audience. And when he stood up, he said, "I thought I was going to a yoga retreat. I thought my brother was taking me to a yoga retreat. I had no idea what we were doing here." And then he said, I just never loved myself. And it was his act of change that somehow changed his health condition. He somehow upregulated genes in different ways, suppressed the genes for MS, and somehow he was more mobile. He was walking by the end of the event, and he was the magic number one. And when everybody saw that and the audience was excited, we started seeing other people have a similar experience. Now that possibility is becoming more of a reality for people. So I never limit what could actually happen, but I can tell you that what an amazing time right now to witness people really doing the uncommon.
When you recited that story, I could see the emotion in your face as you say it. And I can only imagine, with the information that you have and the beliefs you have about healing, change, transformation, the sense of urgency you must carry and the sense of like responsibility almost, I guess you must carry, knowing what's possible.
Yeah, well, I do feel responsible for always keeping the information based in science and as pure as possible. I feel it's really important to do the research that we're doing. I mean, we've studied so much from a scientific standpoint, the process of change and the process of transformation and what meditation actually can do for a person in terms of their biology and some of the changes that we're seeing just in 7 days. My responsibility really is to give people my greatest understanding of the truth and numerous opportunities to experience it, nothing more. You know, there's a way to inspire people into possibility. And so we combine different models of science, whether it's quantum physics or neuroscience or neuroendocrinology or psychoneuroimmunology, the mind-body connection, epigenetics, electromagnetism. All of these sciences allow people to understand themselves better. And if knowledge is power, knowledge about yourself is self-empowerment. You can empower people to do something with it. So the more you understand what you're doing in the process of change, the more you understand why you're doing it. As I said, the how gets easier. So we now know that if you give people sound scientific information, and that is the contemporary language of mysticism, and they can learn that information, they're basically making new circuits in their brain. That's what learning is. Learning is forging new synaptic connections. But if you don't review what you learn, if you don't repeat it, it's so much easier to forget it than to remember it. So you got to repeat it over and over again. So we allow people in our workshops to then begin to turn and teach it back to somebody. They have to really explain it. If they can't explain it, it's not wired in their brain, and something's going to be left to conjecture, to superstition, to dogma, to spirituality, and that's not the result we want. We want them to use science as that model, and if they can explain that model and remind themselves what they've learned, reproduce the same level of mind, nerve cells that fire together, wire together. So they begin to install the neurological hardware in their brain.
By teaching others.
Yeah, exactly. So that they are prepared for an experience. So then, if that information is installed in their brain, that philosophy, that theory, that knowledge and information, and now they can remember it, and they have that model of understanding, and they understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. If we can set up the conditions in the environment and give them the proper instruction, if they can get their behaviors to match their intentions, if they can get their actions equal to their thoughts, if they can get their mind and body working together, they're going to have a new experience. Now, experience enriches circuitry in the brain. That's what experiences does. The moment those neurons begin to string into place, though, another part of the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And the moment you feel unlimited, the moment you feel grateful, the moment you feel empowered, the moment you feel whole, now you're teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind has intellectually understood. The information is just not in the brain now. The information now is literally in the body. And now you're embodying the truth of that knowledge, of that philosophy, of that theory. So then you're teaching your body and instructing your body chemically to understand what your mind has intellectually understood. Okay, so then that information that's coming as a new experience is changing your biology in some way, and we've actually shown this. So then if you've done it once, then it means you should be able to do it again. And the idea is to be able to repeat an experience. And if you can repeat it over and over again, both neurologically and chemically, neurochemically, you can condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. And when you can do it so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your conscious mind, it's innate in you.
So I want to map out this process so that I make sure I understand it. Starts with the neurology, which I heard is a thought which you then ingrain in your mind by teaching it to someone else. Is that accurate?
Well, first thing you have to do is you got to give people information.
Yeah.
And science is probably the closest to the truth in terms of information. And so when your brain is exposed to information and you're present and you're paying attention, that neurons begin to connect. That's what learning is. Learning is forging new synaptic connections. The Nobel Prize research, Kandel, in the year 2000, the researcher said that if you learned one bit of information and you paid attention to that information for about an hour, you would double the number of connections in your brain as a result of your interaction with that information. But if you don't review it, if you don't repeat it, if you don't have to think about it, the circuits prune apart, right? So if learning is making new synaptic connections, and remembering is maintaining and sustaining them. So it's so much easier to forget this information than to remember it. So you learn it. Once I got a person's head nodding, then they turn to the person next to them and say, let me try this out. Let me try this out, and let me see if I can repeat it. And so between the two of them, they exchange that information, and they start to build a model of understanding. I understand, I got that, okay. Then we advance the information a little bit more, and they're adding new stitches into the three-dimensional tapestry of their gray matter. And they have to remind themselves what they've learned, reproduce that same level of mind. Mind is the brain in action. as you install those neurological circuits in your brain, then now you're prepared. It's the forerunner to the experience. You're prepared for the experience. So give the proper instruction, get your body involved, get involved in the process. The experience then causes circuits to become more enriched. That's what experience does. And then it makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And the stronger the emotion you feel from the experience, the more you remember it.
And what is that experience? What can
Abundance, health, wholeness, a mystical experience, success, a new relationship, a new career, a new life, whatever that vision that person wants to arrive at in the future, and to actually go from the thought of that vision to the actual experience of it. And the distance between that thought and that experience is called time. So if we can teach people to shorten the distance between the thought of what they want and the experience of having it, then they start believing more that they're the creator of their life.
What would you say to somebody that doesn't think thoughts matter that much? I would say 95% of the world plus, or maybe more, 99% of the world plus sees thoughts as something that we are, it's my head talking. It's me talking in my head. And as long as I don't act on those thoughts, they're inconsequential.
I would say then that's the truth.
Is it the truth?
I don't know. But for me, my thoughts do matter. I think every thought that you have makes a chemical. And you can have thoughts that make you feel good and thoughts that make you feel bad. And I think that if 90% of the thoughts that we think are the same thoughts as the day before, the same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors will create the same experiences. And the same experiences produce the very same emotions. And those same emotions influence a person's very same thoughts. And their biology, their neurocircuitry, their neurochemistry, their hormones, and even their gene expression stays the same because they're staying the same. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do think that if you think differently and you learn new information and you have new thoughts, if you can make new choices and demonstrate new behaviors and create new experiences and arrive at new goals and feel new emotions, I would say that's evolution. And I think that people really, really secretly believe in themselves on some level. And I think being defined by a vision of the future, or really always dreaming of another great experience, I think is a great reason to wake up in the morning.
I've had lots of conversations with very smart people on this podcast from multiple disciplines, psychiatrists, psychologists, athletes, health practitioners, and they've given me such great advice which is irrefutable scientific advice on so many areas of my life. And for some reason, there's still areas of my life that I still can't act upon that advice. And I think probably for most of my listeners who've heard great advice on this podcast and they think, yes, that's who I want to be. I have an intention to stop eating sugar at 1 a.m. at night, or I have an intention to become organized or to be this kind of friend or partner. They have the information.
Right.
There's something stood in the way of me doing something about that information on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, I can give you a few answers for that. Unfortunately, it normally takes crisis, trauma, disease, diagnosis, betrayal, loss. The person has to reach that lowest denominator where nothing's making that feeling go away.
Has to.
Well, they don't have to, but this is the human condition. This is the moment where they don't feel like returning the texts. They don't feel like going to dinner and seeing the same people. They don't feel like watching the same television show any longer. The sports car, the wardrobe, none of that is making this feeling go away. This is a moment of reckoning for the soul. And this is really when you could actually see yourself through the eyes of someone else, because you don't feel like yourself anymore. And that's the moment where people begin to change. They can see how they've been thinking. They can notice how they've been acting. They could pay attention or become aware of how they've been feeling for the last 20 years. And that idea in neuroscience is called metacognition. That's the moment you're no longer the program. Now, what we believe and what we've seen and what I think is much better approach is being defined by a vision of the future. And if you understood that you could actually elevate your state without anyone or anything every single day, and hold whatever that intention of your future is, and it takes a coherent brain to do that, and feel the emotion of your future before it happens. That is, you can't wait for your wealth to feel success. You can't, or abundance. You can't wait for your new relationship to feel love. You can't wait for the mystical experience to feel